Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I got. It's life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? I'm in a race that everybody's chasing fast. They wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight. But trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light, alright? I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I got. It's life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more.
And a warm, warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday night, the Hcast, your favorite podcast. We're back with episode number 87. We got a doozy because there's a whole bunch of news dropped. We are running a little bit late. I do apologize. I had to catch up with the panelists and just explain some bits and pieces before we got started. So just FYI, do apologize. We try not to run late here, but that's my bad. Completely own that. We've got a doozy today. There's so much to cover in very interesting bits and pieces. I mean, we've got Disney absolutely getting nuked by Nelson Peltz. It's stepping up a notch. We'd heard the rumblings of the feet of the soldiers marching into battle against Disney, and we're going to fully see this moving forwards into next year. It will be all-out war at Disneyland, right? Hopefully, I painted a nice picture for you there. We've got Jonathan Majors. The video was released. Interesting video. Can go either way, actually, in that video, depending on your interpretation. We've got Marvel Chaos, Disney Chaos. Just a fun time. Also, we've got the embodiment of the Ouroboros. If you don't know what that is, hey, here's a bit of trivia for you. The Ouroboros can be seen as the infinity sign. It's the snake that feeds upon itself. What I mean by that, woke media eating itself. Very, very funny. Can't appease these people. They're fucking insane. Anyway, I'm, of course, joined by a fantastic group of panelists. We've got Culture Casino, Nick, and Tom. How are you all doing?
Doing good. Another day, another dollar.
I'm having a great time. Having a great time. I'm glad to be here, just like Nick. Nick, your hair's growing out. Look at that scruffy underneath that hat.
Oh, yeah. It's.
Dare you insult Nick? Well, he looks like he's straight out of emo years. What's he doing?
What the hell is this?
Yep. I haven't got a haircut in a minute.
Nick, the skin kid or emo kid there. Oh, my God.
He's turning into culture is what he's doing.
Yeah, culture was actually my inspiration. I was like, man, I'm going for it, man.
Right.
I'm growing it out.
That's right.
What
Nick,
the hell am I
on
looking
Halloween,
at?
mate, we
Huh?
could have had you. Oh my god!
Oh, what the hell was that?
Oh, brilliant! Love that.
Well,
That's
yeah,
great.
but anyway, I didn't mean to poke fun at you, Nick. But don't
it's all
forget
good.
when you cut it,
Oh, I
make sure you
did. That's
donate.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That was comedy gold. I absolutely meant to poke fun in the best way possible. Oh, Christ alive. Right. So, a few ground rules before we get started. They're not ground rules. This is just the spiel that I've always got to say. Hey, we get heavy demonetization here, and it is pretty heavy demonetization. You want to help us out? Great way to do it is super chat. So please do chuck in a buck, and we will get to your comment. Your question can be about anything. You can proclaim your love to Tom, to culture, to Nick. Maybe not me. We can if you like, but don't. You can proclaim your love. You can do anything you like with the super chat. So please do chuck in a little bit of $1 if you want to keep the show going and support your favorite podcast. Give the video a like. It's not to help the video out. I don't care about the video itself. They get unlisted after the fact anyway. It's to hopefully get YouTube to notify you in future. Aside from that, have I missed anything? Yes. Second channel is linked down below in the description box. Please do hit subscribe down there. Step to date on all of this stuff. Loads of people miss many half hour, an hour of this show. And you can find all the best bits down on that second channel. And everyone else's channel is linked down below as well.
Any update on the merch stores, the new merch store stuff, Nate?
Oh,
yes. The update will be, I'd like to think probably around February next year should be roughly okay, I would imagine. Is that a good estimate there, Culture?
Maybe sooner, maybe the end of January. We'll
come on now. I was fielding it. I thought that was really good.
No, we'll pull it out. You did a great job. We'll do our very best to get that up and running in a great way. And I want to say thank you to That Park Place for coming over here. We appreciate that. You guys showing up. And thank you to Jonas and Pro and everybody that gets that thing going. And also note that Mr. H mentioned that we do super chats because we are heavily demonetized. It seems like whenever Tom's on a stream, that happens
every time.
So blame Tom. But at the same time, if you do send a super chat, there's a decent chance because we usually keep them in the clips. You'll be in a clip. Sometimes just super chat will make an entire clip. So you are driving the show. It's true.
That is true. That is true. I will say as well, ladies and gents, I'm going to be having a little bit of a tipple during this stream. I've got this cocktail here. I've got another cocktail here, a Christmas Negroni.
Ooh.
So you see me at my best. This might devolve. All right.
By the end of the show, Nate might be slurring just a tad bit.
That's okay. I can push buttons behind the scenes. We'll be good.
Just saying it straight up from the top. All right. I've had a dog shit day. But we're not going to bring that here because you could be anywhere this Thursday, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is. You could be anywhere, but you're choosing to spend it here. And for that, I thank you so much because it does mean the world to me. So let's check this out. We've got one super chat that dropped in from Larry Quadro. It's big contributor here on the channel. Great dude. And he drops in with $5. Says, hello, Mr. H and friends. I'm curious if you're going to review Leave the World Behind. Directed by the creator of Mr. Robot, and the cinematography was great. Leave the World Behind. Is that new thing that dropped?
I've not heard of it.
I haven't had a chance to catch it, so
let me have a look. Oh yeah, isn't Leave the World like I've seen some reviews saying that's incredibly racist. So it's directed by the creator of Mr. Robot, but it was written by like the Obamas had a hand.
Well, they're supervisory producers.
Obama actually wrote some of the dialogue apparently.
Oh well, then that explains a whole lot. But no, I'm going to review it because it is incredibly racist. So it should be a lot of fun to roast it, roasty the wokey.
Yeah, apparently Whitey is the bad guy in that thing.
How original! I've not seen a movie with that for a while.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
At least
delete Whitey.
Wow.
Fucking hell, honestly. What a joke. So, well, Larry, if you liked it, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts, mate. So let me know what you liked about it, whether you picked up on any of the racism. Would be intrigued to hear. As well, I mean, Culture said it, but I'll say it as well. Thank you so much, everyone, dropping in from That Park Place. If I don't know you, you're not here before. Thank you so much. Hey, this is the H-Cast, soon to be your favorite podcast. Jonas J. Campbell drops in with $5. Says, ahem, That Park Place raid. Christmas Negroni for my favorite jabronis.
Hell,
He
Jonas.
rhymed. Love that.
Do appreciate that, chat. We still need to get you on. Maybe we could do next Thursday like a special Christmas stream before Christmas. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What do we reckon? Just floating the idea, get a few people on.
I think it'll be great.
Yep.
As my best
Yeah.
drinker, how'd that sound?
We've got not bad. We've got WCW 2793 for $4.99. Says glad Axel is still using a Browning high power.
Yeah.
I need to take mine to the range. What's this?
Oh yeah, they dropped the first look trailer for the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. Did you see that, Nick?
I did.
I bet you Tom did. Tom's dead.
Anyway, cool.
Yeah, I did see it. Is that part of one of our topics today?
It's not actually because I have not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I always ask you, I'm like, any other topics? And people are like, nah, nothing. No.
I didn't even think about it till this super chat just came up.
Yeah, me either.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I have not seen it, honestly, so I've checked that out. Yeah, Tom did say that he had some potential leaks for that, though. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Spicy.
Dragon Reborn sent in 10 poons. Says, evening, Mr. HCC, Tom and Nick. Hope all on the panel and in the chat are well. That's very kind of you, mate. And says, trying to do the Carlton dance to the intro, failing terribly. I can just picture that.
Me
That's
too.
good time.
I love it.
Glad to be catching my favorite podcast, and I proclaim my love to all.
Well, thank you, Darren.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
Actually, I did send you that this morning, Nate, because I said I've actually talked to somebody who's seen a test screening of it.
Did
Oh,
you send
boy.
me? Did you send me the trailer then?
Well, we'll get to it.
I'll
We'll get
send you
to
the
it.
trailer, but I did say that I saw somebody or talked to somebody who saw it.
Oh no, I know that. No, someone says that they saw the. I didn't see the trailer though. Sorry.
Yeah, the trailer's out.
I didn't see that. Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't see that.
Oh,
But
sorry,
I know
my
you.
bad, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're catching half of it. So I said that you'd seen it or knew some leaks basically. So we might get to some of that. Essentially, was what I was saying. But I'd not seen the trailer. I still need to check that out. I don't know. We shall see. And then we got D sending 50 Australian dollar dues. Thank you. Culture.
$50 shots.
No, dude, that's
I did.
$50 shots. Yeah, sounds fun, right? That sounds like a recipe for a bad time, quite frankly.
It sounds like nap.
$50 a shot, holy fuck.
Huh.
I'll be
Drinking
dead.
that Pappy Van Winkle or something. $50 shots.
I don't even know if I got any booze in the house.
Do you
I
know?
got-
I'll boo you.
I got one beer.
I've got a
drinker.
lot of. I've got a big wine collection. I love a good wine collection.
No, just never been a drinker.
No, so neither am I though. Like I say that drinking, but I'm not an actual drinker. Like I don't drink that much. It's been a really long time since I drank last, so it's good. Don't drink, kids. It's not good for you. Big Boss SB for $4.99 says, Mr. H, long time listener of the channel. Personal question for you: is that a Raziel? Olaf showing something in the background there as well. Emblem tattoo on your chest. Props to you. Big fan of the Legacy of Kain series. No, but it looks similar. So it's something which has been asked to me. No, but it looks similar. So yes, there you go. Right. I was kind of stalling a little bit here because I know Andre was going to get here, but he's not here yet. So never mind. Look, let's just get to it straight from the off, okay? Because this is the thing most people want to, or some people have been looking at. Some people have been mentioning it in the chat. I've seen it. Let's look at this absolutely bizarre video of Jonathan Majors. You might say it was a major development.
Yeah, I made sure to get an image of the major development. Thank you, Tom.
Come on. So this dropped yesterday,
Oof.
and it looks like some bloody slapstick shit. It's the weirdest thing. Basically, the judge unsealed a bunch of the evidence, so it's there for the public now, and it is very odd. It's very odd. So it's just the weird. Has anyone seen this? Who's seen this?
I have not.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've read through some of the texts.
Did you listen to the audio of him saying?
I haven't
"I'm
heard the
great
audio
man"?
part. I did see the transcription of the audio though.
It's very odd. Anyway, let's have. It's just the weirdest thing. It's okay. We're going over here, are we? All right. Okay. Cool. Where's this then?
I was gonna say be careful
So-
because I think TMZ owns this.
Yeah. No, they don't own it because
No,
the
they're
judge unsealed it.
watermarking it.
Yeah, true. So hold on. So you can see him here. So him and her outside the car, and then he's trying to push her in the car. I think it looks like he bashes her head there.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah,
It does look like it, doesn't it? Bush.
No, it doesn't look like he does.
yeah, he does.
Her head
Well, we
whipped
can't,
back,
we
back
we
into
can't-
the left.
We
Back
can't
into
say
the-
with absolute certainty that he did. It
All
just
right.
looks like
This
it,
is the
okay?
Uber ride, right?
Yeah, something like that.
What I
quickly, we've got
find
Andre-
disturbing is how many people.
Stop. We got Andre to drop in here as well, real quick, and then Tom, you can talk now as well. Thank you. Sorry.
Hey, Andre.
Oh,
Hey, greetings, everyone.
Hey,
we're just looking at this video.
Yeah,
so-
I
sorry.
saw. I actually haven't seen it yet myself.
Okay, cool. We'll get. So, what were you going to say, Tom?
Well,
Sorry,
it's
dude.
just everybody thinks this just exonerates him all of a sudden, just because he's running away.
Oh, no,
Like everybody's ignoring every other piece of the case, though. If that's the because like I've seen it, like it's trending, and most people are saying he's exonerated, she's lying.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, well,
it's
first
not
of
that-
all,
not
I
click.
don't know, but yeah.
No, keep going. First of all,
Well, I was gonna say because look, I'm not saying that the driver is lying, but the driver can't speak English, and they got to that driver before this hit the press. Because remember,
That's true.
his defense was flat out saying that the driver will exonerate him in there's video. So this is what they were talking about. To me, all we have is his interpretation of the situation, and he claimed that Majors never touched her, but then turned around and said he shoved her out of the cab and then tried to shove her back in. And I'm sitting here going, why would he try to shove her back in? Well, now we see the video, and he's like manhandling her ass, but then she chases after him after he runs away like a little child because as you'll see here, he leads her to the sidewalk out of the road, and then he fucking
Yeah.
takes off like Forrest Gump.
oh, so well, yeah, we'll get to that. It's so funny. Just real quick though, James Woolard in the chat does say prosecution has stated in court that the cab driver has been paid by Majors. That's
Wow.
pretty fucking.
I wouldn't be
That is
surprised
amazing.
because they got to him pretty quick. And
Yeah.
not only that, they're overlooking the text messages where he's flat out. Well, I'm sure we'll get to that stuff, but that's the to me the most damning part of the evidence.
Yeah, so basically shoved her back in, and yeah, he's in, and then they both get out, and it almost looks like it's a weird connect. They almost look weirdly connected. Look there. Do you see what I mean? It's like one like is she leaning in? Is he got is she
Like they embraced, like he braced each other. Like they're see. I think he's tricking her right now. Is what's happening. So they can get
sorry.
I was say so he can get her to the sidewalk. Is what I was going to say. That's all.
Yeah, it's such a weird. The way they move is so weird. I mean, you're right. Like they could just be. I don't know. They could be holding hands. Do you see what I mean?
Well, because they embrace for a moment there, or something like that. It's almost like he's saying, I'm sorry, because he must have hit her in the head. I think that's what happened. Because the text messages, that's what she says.
Yeah. Anyway, and then they just walk to the sidewalk, and then wait for this, Andre. This is the best bit ever, mate. Just they just start running across.
I know you want the Benny Hill music.
That would be so good.
Look at it.
Did he take her keys or something, or mobile, or
No,
something like that? Did he
no,
take something?
She
of hers
claimed
and
she
run
was
off?
chasing him to find out who he was talking to. That's what she said in court,
Which-
I think.
which I can believe. Fucking like women.
A woman would do that, yes.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I think that I don't think that he's necessarily innocent of anything, but the more we see from that woman, the more she seems like another bed-shitting crazy Amber Heard.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
she's sane, but at the same time, here's the problem. Everybody thinks this exonerates him, and here's the part that I was like, I don't know about that. They're like, oh, he's running away from her. I'm like, yeah, but he went back the next fucking day.
There's one thing I wish people would realize, that sometimes, in fact, most times, very, very often, two things can be true at once.
I think they're.
He
I
can
think they're
he
both.
can have some problematic past, and he can have some behavior with partners in relation stuff that is maybe not ideal, and she can be a crazy Amber Heard, because sometimes
Yeah.
crazies find each other. I mean, if you look at like psychology, like crazies, the types of like Amber Heard, they specialize in finding two kinds of people. One of them are people who are the polar opposite, empaths, who will stick with them, whom they can victimize. That's like one. That's how, for instance, an Amber Heard finds a Johnny Depp, who has never had any kind of anything before, until he suddenly goes with this woman who drives him nuts, right? That's one kind. The other kind that a person like that will find is someone who is just like themselves or worse. Sometimes you have two crazy, violent people finding each other, and that's when sparks really fly. And
Yeah.
based on everything we're seeing, I'm not saying anything definitively. On everything we're seeing, it looks tiny little bit like that might be what's going on here, because this dude obviously has some history, because no one came out in his defense the moment these accusations came,
It was the
unlike
opposite.
what
Yeah.
happened with Johnny Depp. Everyone from New York who knew him from before was like, yeah, we were waiting for this, and his agency dropped him and everything like that. They dropped him like a bad habit, which only goes to show they knew. And then you have this crazy.
Yeah.
She obviously has issues too.
Well, and the
Shall
other
we,
thing I noticed about the video was the cab driver claimed that she was hitting him. I don't see her getting aggressive with him at all.
Well, I guess I mean, well,
But this is after the fact, so we have to go by what he
Yeah.
says, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I was going
And
to say
also-
to play devil's advocate, that might be from
Yeah.
inside the car. But let's keep watching this, because she almost gets run over, so that's funny.
That would have
She's
made
not
for a
even paying
very different
attention.
kind
Yeah.
of video.
He's like, man, I'm getting away from this crazy bitch. Is what
Yeah,
is
but
the
he
kind of
comes back
running
the
he's
next
doing.
day, though. That's the weird thing. Why would you go back to that? You just lost her.
There's
Keep running.
How the hell does he not outrun her anymore? I mean, I thought this guy was fit. I mean, he should.
I don't
So
know.
the-
He shouldn't
so
be
the
able
thing
to
is-
keep up with him.
There's actually more footage than this that's out there, and then what happens is she comes here, bumps into a bunch of people that see her distressed, and then he comes back, right, and then they start walking back together again.
Yeah.
And then she
Trouble.
exits another time, and then I think then the footage picks up with the police body camera footage in the apartment. Now, the thing is, right, the audio and the text messages themselves are awful anyway, right? So I think what's very clear here is that both people are just completely fucked up. Both people are completely in the wrong. I don't think this is a case of one person is wholly innocent at all. Like, I don't think this exonerates him, because the text messages, as you said, Tom, I mean, he threatens to delete himself, right? Threatens to off himself. And then there's audio footage. There's audio of him going, "I'm a great man. I'm this," and I'm like, what the fuck? The whole thing's just crazy.
He
It's
sounds
crazy.
very narcissistic.
Exactly, that's what I mean. These are two cluster B personality disorder people, and
Yeah.
thanks to Amber Heard, we now know what that is, right? And obviously, yeah, here we have two of them together, and then this is what happens.
It's just, it is, yeah. And then so there's more stuff. So we've
The big
got
difference between this and the Amber Heard situation so far is outside of the testimony of the cab driver. We have no incidents where she has been aggressive towards him other than that. See, that's the thing that sticks out to me. And then the thing that happened in these text messages tells me everything I need to know about him.
Well, exactly. This is what I mean. Like, none of the evidence makes any of them look good. It makes them both look like absolute scum.
No, she should have left, but I can also see where he's manipulating her ass too.
Yes. Yeah, well,
so this is the thing is I'm looking at it as a power dynamic here, both physically and mentally and status wise, right? That's the thing.
You know what I think we might be dealing with here again? I was going to be careful with giving any kind of diagnosis because I'm not qualified to do that. But from what I've been reading, this is what happens when a borderline meets a narcissist.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this stuff.
Yeah, that's a manipulative bastard right there.
Should probably read it out loud. But
yeah. Like
I don't want to.
Not all of it, but
yeah. He did not consider that for even one.
See, and here's the funny part is I thought, just so you guys know, I thought these texts were from the UK incident. Oh no. This is the day after. The one we just watched.
It said September, didn't it? Pretty certain it did.
That or whoever, because I read it. So this is the first. This is the UK one because somebody told me this is from the new. Okay, so this is the original incident. One. So that's the thing is he basically admits to hitting her here, or at least he doesn't deny it. That's the part that bothered me. And he's like, "Don't go to the hospital."
Yeah, don't mention me. She's like, "I'm not gonna mention your name." I was gonna mention you.
I need the pain's getting worse. I need you meds. I'll off myself.
She's got a concussion for F's sake. That sounds like, look, my mom's a nurse. That sounds like concussive. If she's telling the truth, that's symptoms of a concussion.
I'm a monster, a horrible man.
Yeah.
None of this stuff's good. Both of them just look like
pity me, pity me.
Yes.
Well, you know what that text there means? If something were to happen to him, there's no reason to investigate it much further because that's the explanation right there. Should be very careful with putting stuff like that in writing.
That's pretty crazy stuff. So I mean, look, the footage dropped, and again, people are saying it exonerates him. I think we can all. I understand that there's some people in the chat saying, it does exonerate him. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
If you can look at these text messages and say that still, then okay.
Well, and some of the images that I don't know if we've scrolled through, but you can see her ear is almost torn off. I mean, well, it's pretty torn. The back of her ear. Yeah.
And I haven't heard for sure because originally the report was that her finger was broke.
It is.
Well, I mean, that's pretty swollen. And pretty bloody bruised as well.
Now, again, if she was grabbing at him and all that kind of stuff, I understand. But he's also obviously like 2-3 times her fucking size, right? There's a big discrepancy here. I mean, look at the way he was manhandling, like throwing her back in the car. I'm still surprised that people see that and they're like, "Oh, he's innocent." I'm like, I'm sorry. If I ever picked a bitch like that up and threw her back in a car, somebody would fucking say something to me.
Yeah. Right. Cancel Tom. Cancel Tom.
Not only that, supposedly he kicked her ass out first. That's the part we didn't see. I'm wondering where that part of the video is.
It's not there.
Apparently, I guess there's more video. They just haven't released it yet, or
there's a little bit more video. There's the body cam footage.
Yeah.
I don't currently have the link to that. It's not that interesting. She's just laying on the floor. I mean, it describes accurately, just for full transparency, it portrays accurately what's been described on how they found her, passed out on the floor in like a closet. So I'm not showing it for any nefarious reasons. Like, it literally does show accurately what has been stated in the press, that she was found passed out on the on the closet floor, basically. So she does, but I mean, that's not a surprise in terms of no one, she never said she was lying about that. No one's ever said she was lying about that either. And the thing about that is as well that she was going out getting drunk anyway. So I mean, it was a night out.
Yeah.
They're probably both wrecked. So,
Well,
I mean,
that's my
it's not like a slam dunk, is it?
No, my this is what I think happened. Okay. I think they were both drunk, like you said. He was texting some other bitch. That's clearly been established. And look, any dude who's ever been with a woman, if you're texting another bitch around your woman, you probably deserve just about everything you fucking get. Because she is gonna fly off the fucking handle. Right? What the fuck are you doing texting another woman when you're with your woman? That's dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, but that doesn't, sure, but at the same time, that does not excuse her physically assaulting him or trying to take his phone. That is true. But that also doesn't give him the right to turn around and assault her back to get his phone back, kick her ass out of a curb, and throw her back in the car. And when a cab driver's sitting there saying he didn't do anything to her, I don't know, it sounds like the one who's being mostly physical was him. He don't have a scratch on him, and she's got a broken fucking finger and a cut behind her ear.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Is that they out and out said that he did act. They out and out said that he did have injuries. We haven't seen any. There's been no images of these injuries yet.
Exactly my point.
Nothing.
Yeah. And he went back the next day.
And she's like 1/3 his size. Like, I mean,
that's what I said, Nick. Like, and look, with the Amber situation, clearly she was being violent towards Johnny. There was tons of evidence of that.
Yeah, and they're like the same size.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny's not a big dude.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the whole thing's a complete shit show. Let's be honest. So, it definitely doesn't exonerate him though. That
Virtual Reality Fitness says there are pics. If there are pics, please feel free to tag us on Twitter on the ticks. He has a scratchy. He has a scratchy, and she ripped a button on his jacket, is what they claimed. Yeah.
Oh, well, I've not seen them. Like genuinely, I've not seen them.
And I just want to push back. It isn't a cut behind her ear; it's a tear.
That looks pretty bad. That might even, I don't know if it required stitches, but I cut behind my ear like that once and I had to get stitches.
Yeah.
Because I was playing hide and seek and I was like 4 or 5 years old and I was underneath a bed. And that's when we had those old springy metal box springs.
Yes.
And I happened to turn my head the wrong way and one of the springs was sticking out and I happened to catch behind my ear. Yeah.
Oh.
I was bleeding like a stuck pig. It was horrible.
Yeah. Oof.
So,
where are these images? I'm searching for them now.
I haven't seen any of those. I've seen pretty much everything else to go with the case. Like, look, at the end of the day, this is still just a misdemeanor domestic case. I mean, is he going to go to jail? No, probably not.
He could, though.
He could, but I doubt it. I don't think that the damage is excessive enough. And there's enough.
So today, the defense delivered closing arguments painting Miss Jabari as a liar and accusing her of revenge partying after the alleged assault. In its closings, the prosecution called the private driver a biased witness to the man who paid him.
Well, they mean just because he paid for the cab. They didn't insinuate he was paid off. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that they got to him before the story even hit the press. Remember? That's what kind of stuck out to me.
I wonder how much he got paid.
Whatever the cab fare was. I mean, on the other side of it, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not accusing the guy of taking a bribe, but I mean, the guy don't speak English.
Urdu, apparently.
So how does he even know what the fuck they were saying?
Well, that is true. That's a fair point, to be honest.
That's what I've been thinking the whole time is like, you're bringing in a witness who is not exactly the most credible witness because they weren't even privy to basically what was going on. And I'm sorry.
Well, he'd be facing the other way anyway. Like,
yeah, he'd be facing the other way. He doesn't speak English. He needs an interpreter.
And
even if he understands a few words, it's people talking fast like that. Andre, as somebody who's not a native English speaker, you know what it's like to be in that situation.
Well, absolutely, because here's like the thing. I have been in many, many, many countries around the world. Hell, I live in one right now where I don't speak the native language. Like me, I'm fine in English, but there's plenty more languages than English in this world. And here's like the thing. You don't necessarily understand each and every word. And For one thing, what the hell is the guy doing as a taxi writer? That's one lying bastard. He speaks way more English than he's letting on. But let's just assume for the sake of argument that he doesn't. What you are left with then is that you are left with the noises coming out of people's mouth, the intensity of the words, and the body language. You can do quite a lot, or you can go very far just reading the body language. Like, for instance, where I am right now, even though I don't speak Spanish per se, I have absolutely no problem at all communicating in person with someone who doesn't speak English. I've been here for like what, 6 months or something now, and I've done the most incredible things. Like, I ordered airfare tickets. Hell, I even bought an advanced computer, came back with it because there was a problem with it, explained the problem, got it fixed there on the spot because I demanded it be done right now. And I did that speaking less Spanish than Latka speaks English. And I was still able to have reasonably advanced conversations. Now, if I'm on the phone, I can't do any of that. Then I'm completely useless because so much communication is non-verbal. So he would actually be able to pick up quite a lot just by being in the car, witnessing the situation, witnessing the energy of the people. Even if he only speaks a few words of the language, that actually would be quite enough for him to get quite a lot of what is going on, since most of the communication is non-verbal. And this is especially true in a couple that is deeply toxic, because there you have so many non-verbal cues. If you think about it, if you're walking in the street and you see someone who's crawling or something, you can kind of like tell, you can see the passive aggression. You can see when someone is giving the other the silent treatment and stuff. Or if you're like visited by some friends or something, and you can instantly tell, well, something is not right between these two, right? Even if they don't say it, you can pick up on it. It would be the same with this guy. He wouldn't be able to tell what caused it or something, but he could certainly speak to the interactions between them in the car, even without understanding the detail of the words. In fact, because he didn't listen to the words, he probably is in a better position to say, who's the real aggressor here? Who is the one who's being the most victimized? Who's the one trying to manipulate the other? Because he can just interpret the body language to the extent of which he was able to pay attention to that while paying attention to the road.
Nah, you say that his statements weren't one of confidence either, to be fair. So
exactly, that's what I'm saying in principle. So I wouldn't discount it. But again, he's also someone who's supposed to be paying attention to the road. Then how much is he paying attention?
Well, they were parked, I guess, at that point. Well, we don't know the timeline of it, right? We just don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So I would say, like, that's not something that you should rely too much on, but you shouldn't dismiss it either. Because you'd be surprised if you suddenly find yourself in a situation where you don't speak the language, how much you're able to pick up on anyway. That's quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think closing thoughts, like a closing argument. See what I did there? Culture, closing thoughts.
Well, I look, both of these people don't look great in this particular, series of videos. Still, seems like the aggressor in all circumstances outside of the little Keystone Cops chase scene was clearly, Majors, at least at the beginning of what we got to see. Again, just like with everything else, all media we are presented is tainted by the fact that it's been edited or coalesced in a way that, maybe it makes it compromised. Just like we see, with a lot of the footage from various events in the past. So I would say that without that carefully curated presentation, a lot of the facts speak for themselves, like the injuries and things like that. I have a feeling that regardless of the outcome of this, neither of them are going to have much career in Hollywood. I don't know how you rehabilitate from now publicly available video and images that show, what you've done to another human being. So it's unfortunate for all involved, but it does also shed some light on some other, tweets and messages that have come out from other parties. Indicating he's not a good guy.
He might be quids in here because he was dumped off by his talent agency. he might be getting all the dollars if he continues at Marvel. No 20% cut.
Hard to say. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I understand that
joke.
point of view. I just don't know that necessarily would fly. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So,
joke. Tom, closing thoughts.
Again, like she may have been the aggressor in the cab situation here, and I'm not going to say that, you know, what he did was an excuse if she was, but at the same time, the problem you have is the text messages and him. If he is so innocent, then why does he not want her to go to the hospital when she clearly is probably concussed from getting clocked in the head by him from the September text? See, that's where I kind of have a problem.
Yeah. Nick, closing thoughts, bro?
This seems like two toxic people. One's gasoline, she's the spark. You know, you put them together, you're gonna have a blazing, raging fire. You know, for people like him, who seems to be very narcissistic, you know, a lot of those people feed on these toxic relationships. You know, it could be the worst relationship, you know, like that, but he's gonna keep going back. You know, he's getting his supply, you know, from her, some bit of it, in some form, way, or fashion, anyways. And so, yeah, more and more information is going to come out on this, but neither one of them at this point look to be all that innocent. You know, who's to say what's going to end up happening when this thing's all said and done with? But rumor has it, you know, he's getting replaced as Kang. So he's pretty much out and done, it seems like, anyway. So this has kind of screwed him up. And that's the price you pay for dealing with BBCs, man.
Well, this should all be done by next week anyway, because it's a 2-week trial, jury. I mean, it should be done deliberation, I guess, by next week, I'd imagine.
Yeah, right before the Christmas holidays, and then they can go spend Christmas together and, you know, get in another fight.
Yeah, I mean, sparks for New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
he's got a new girlfriend now, isn't he? Got a new one.
Oh, does he? I did not know.
Then they can make sparks fly with her.
Like
maybe the three of them together. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
this is true. Andre, closing thoughts, bud?
Yeah, I would like to reiterate what I have said before, and this is particular to those that really think that this exonerates him. No. Two things can be true at once. This is not like a zero-sum game. It's like one winner takes it all. Two people can be guilty in things being like this. And in reference to Kang, I'm inclined to believe that he was dropped by his agency because he was out already by that point. Because you said it right there, Mr. H. Why would they give up 20% of Marvel movie or money that's coming for many videos and series to come, unless they knew that wasn't happening? Because otherwise they'd stick with their client.
Nothing is nothing, so they just piss them off, right?
They are not so honorable that they would stick with the client that there's no money in. Or
they're not going to just drop it because he lost that other project. It's because he lost the big money. Exactly.
Yeah. Or put the other way around. If he still had that big money, he would still have his sponsors. I mean, there's some principles from certain major educational institutions that have been in fire, and they're not being dropped. Others, the actors, have been in bigger trouble than this and not gotten dropped.
It's true.
So it's a matter of what can you still do for us? It's the moment when they feel you can't do anything for us. That's when you get dropped.
There you have it, ladies and gents. There you have it. Let's get us some super chats real quick. Just as a side note, I'm now drinking a Christmas Negroni. It's pretty bloody strong. So we're going in on this one. All right, guys, going in on it.
Nice. I would have liked to join you with some crystal vodka that I have in my shelf over here, but I just worked out today, so I think I'm gonna have to give the booze a miss just for today.
Good man. Hitting the gym. Like to hear it.
Yeah.
So Larry Quadowitz sent in $20. Says, I get why some people might be offended by some lines, but racist characters don't necessarily make a film racist. Well, do they?
I see what he's
Everybody
saying here. He's saying it depends on
Context.
context. Now, if you have a bad guy who's calling one of the main characters an N-word, I don't see there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but the premise of the film is white man ruined the earth.
What movie are we talking about here?
The
Something about the world or whatever.
Is it
was-
the
I was away.
Obama movie on Netflix? Is that the one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the WEF movie. That one.
Yeah.
The as message driven as it can possibly be movie. The one intended to destroy society movie. That one.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then there's no context. This movie is meant to made specifically to subvert society and to be able to prophesize when the computer attack comes, or when the
Mm. Well, look, Larry, I've got a spare weekend coming up this weekend. I plan to make Stollen by hand, and I'll sit down and I'll have a look at it. How about that? All right, I'll have a look. I don't want to, I'm not going to rag too hard on it because I've not seen it. But what I have seen looks terrible. Let's put it that way. But he says it reminded me of Don't Look Up a bit. I think you'll appreciate the filmmaking regardless. Yeah, I mean, I can always appreciate good technical details for sure. And then Larry dropped in again with $5. Says they both sound nuts. Apparently, she threatened the same thing to manipulate him too. Also, I think Israel R sent a super chat before my first one. Yeah, so he sent it again, just as an FYI. I think he sent it again, or it's come through now. So I don't really understand Israel, my dude. Don't know. I don't know what happened. I've got no idea. I don't see it like this. It's just not around. But hey, hello everyone.
maybe it didn't
Israel
go
R
through.
says- Yeah, I don't know. Like it's not there. It's not even on the back end of YouTube. So
I gotta
don't-
say though,
It was
back to
delayed.
the last one though, but about the whole thing. She may have said that, or at least that's what they claim. I have not seen anything in text. He has said
Oh,
that
that's
in
true,
text.
actually. Yeah, that is true.
See-
We've seen evidence of him saying it, but not her. That's true. That's very
Not
true.
saying she didn't. I'm just saying.
Mm. Well, you'd think the judge would unseal that, wouldn't you?
I'm just saying they've got
Right.
actual proof of him saying it, right? That's
Yeah.
the difference.
So Israel drops in with $5. Says, "Hello everyone. Thoughts on Adam Driver's revelation on how Kylo Ren was handled in Rise of Palpatino? Has Daisy or others said anything similar? Yeah, because he wasn't gonna have a redemption arc, wasn't he? I can't remember. What has he fully said? What's Adam Driver fully said?
I don't know what he said, but I know they changed a bunch of shit. We all know that.
Well, he was specifically saying that he was supposed to be, you were supposed to see him becoming a Vader-like character that was fully invested in the dark side by the end of his run. So you were supposed to
Right.
see a reemergence of this super powerful Sith that wasn't capable at the end of his run of being redeemable. And
Right.
so at least that's my takeaway from everything that I've seen and read on it. But I again they got all thrown out the window because of the shippers. And so they changed substantially that character so that they could get that kiss at the end of the worst film ever made. Okay, that's not true. Manos Hand of Fate is the worst film ever made, but it's terrible
Battlefield
film,
Earth,
and
basically.
that's kind of what happened. All that kind of interference to cater to this tiny little sliver of an audience that, when they saw him die on screen, said, "I freaking hate Star Wars" at the top of their lungs. That's the,
Ugh.
it is what it is.
Ridiculous. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know much about this. No one else has really said anything about their characters though, aside from I've forgotten his bloody name now. The guy who played Finn. What's his name?
Oh, I just forgot it too.
John Boyega. There you
John
go.
Boyega,
John
yeah.
Boyega. Yeah, he's come out and bitched about Disney, but that was about it really. Fluffy Panda drops in with $2. Says, "I hear reports that they can't legally replace him." Absolutely, they can, because there will be a conduct clause in the contract. So this puts the films under disrepute and his character under disrepute, so they can actually technically legally replace Kang. The actor,
I
for
think
sure.
what Fluffy Panda may be referring to, because I don't know where it's coming from, but I heard a rumor so stressed with rumor, and this sounds very weird to me, but apparently, according to this rumor that I don't know where it's coming from, is that they obviously don't have to use him, but he has it in his contract that no one can be Kang but him. He's the only first actor that can play Kang variants. Now, I do not believe that at
That is
all.
bollocks.
That
That's
sounds
such bollocks.
complete ridiculous, but I think
What a
that's
weird
what
thing to
what
have in a
he's referring
contract.
to. I mean, I see no reason
Wow.
why Marvel would
Yeah.
allow
That's
themselves to be bound
complete
by that.
trash.
But you know what? But let's just, for the sake of argument, assume that Disney's legal department all decided to get a collective brain hemorrhage and sign away all their rights or something a corporate studio would never do. Well, let's assume that they did. Hey, problem solved. It was all resolved at the end of season 2 of Loki. The Kangs were all defeated again by Loki. Loki defeated them all in one fell swoop, and there are no more Kangs. And you have a TVA to make sure there aren't. Boom, that's the end of the Kang saga. It's over right there. You don't need to revisit it ever again.
Yeah. Could I? Yeah. God, that's yeah.
When we was
interesting.
Kangs.
Exactly.
I just find it ridiculous because more times than not, an actor's contract is set up, as you were saying, Nate, basically to where it's at the studio's discretion whether or not they want to use the individual. The contract is mainly just there to where if they decide to go through with a sequel, that the actor has to leave that open in their schedule, basically. That's kind of how
it's
it
to
works.
protect the studio's interest, not the
Yeah, if they decide to go away from that, there's nothing you can do about that, unless the only times I've ever heard of anything like that is where you have like a pay or play deal, and Hollywood has gotten away from those because they don't like them, because 9 times out of 10 they end up paying out for somebody who doesn't fucking perform.
Well, Disney especially is very tight with their contracts now as well. I mean, they're
Oh, yeah.
renowned for having garbage contracts for actors.
Yeah, they are never going to give anybody back end ever again. So
God damn. Well, there you go, guys. There you go.
put a king in it
Super
and make
funny.
it gay and lame.
Exactly. Look, we have got, just as an FYI, we've got 836 people here spending your Thursday afternoon, morning, evening, wherever it is, with us here on the HCast. I've got to say thank you so much. You could be anywhere, but you're here chilling with us, watching hopefully your favorite podcast. We do appreciate it. We don't have many thumbs up buttons though, and I will say if you could just hit that thumbs up button and try and get it as close to 800 as possible, that'd be great. It's not for the video. I don't care about the video, but it's to hopefully get YouTube to tell you we're going live in future. The video gets unlisted, so it literally doesn't. It's not for the video. It's just hopefully that YouTube will tell you we're going live, because you know how dog shit they are. But thank you so much, genuinely. Smash that thumbs up button. And if any of you want to interact with us like we have been doing, please do send in super chats, because we get pretty heavy demonetization here and it goes a long way. Quick update on text-to-speech and things like that. We are working on it. We're trying to get it sorted. May have to speak to you, Nick, on that as well, because I know you use Streamlabs a little bit.
I may have figured it out.
Perfect. Cool.
Okay.
Well, we'll deal with that another time. Guys, thank you so much, one and all. Again, like I said, do massively appreciate it. So we will shuffle on now to something absolutely fascinating, and it really is. It's one of our headliners.
Here he comes.
Well,
I have the turntables.
Ooh.
love that. Trian Fund Management, Nelson Peltz, ramping up their, I don't know, attack on Disney. They're beating the drums, the battle drums.
Proxy war.
The war is being waged. It's being set, ready to go. We'll see it happen next year more than anything now. Spring, summertime, it will happen. But it's getting pretty crazy. They released this. So this is sent around to the shareholders. They've literally sent this. Am I right in this? They sent this to the shareholders. They're nominating 2 candidates and they're putting it directly to the shareholders as a vote. I'm guessing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is something this is a public statement that has been sent to all of Disney's shareholders with a copy
We
for
got it from
everyone else.
Mexican Iron
This is
Man
a
as a
this is a
heads
press
up, by the
release.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
He
got
would
this
have
from.
gotten it as a Disney shareholder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty full on, actually. I've done a video on it that's dropped whilst we're streaming right now. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So we'll take a look at this now. We'll kind of read through it, and then we'll get all of your thoughts, guys on the panel, and hopefully you guys in the chat as well. So, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. What was it? This one? No, that's not what I want. That's terrible. Anyway, we will go back to doing it like this because this is better. So, fuck's sake. Anyway, look, Trian nominates 2 candidates to the Walt Disney Company board. Some Negronis, they'll get you. Believes the Disney board's lack of focus, alignment, and accountability has resulted in chronic underperformance. One of the world's most iconic companies. And it is true. None of this, I read this earlier. This is like spot the lie. It's just complete truth after truth after truth. So basically, Triumph Fund Management, which beneficially owns $3 billion of stock, today submitted a notice of its intention to nominate 2 independent director candidates for election to the Disney Board of Directors at the 2024's annual meeting of shareholders. So they're doing what they said. They're just going straight to the shareholders. Disney is one of the most iconic companies in the world with unrivaled scale, unparalleled customer loyalty, that's declining, irreplaceable intellectual property, that's declining, and an enviable commercial flywheel. However, Disney has woefully underperformed its peers and its potential. Earnings per share in the most recent fiscal year were lower than earnings per share generated by Disney a decade ago, and were over 50% lower than peak earnings per share, despite this is the real killer, 50% lower despite $100 billion in capital invested. Where's the return on investment? Margins in both Disney's direct-to-consumer business and its consolidated media operations significantly lag peers, despite Disney having scale and superior IP. For shareholders, this subpar performance has destroyed value. Disney stock has underperformed the stocks for Disney's self-selected proxy peers in the broader market over every relevant period during the last decade and during the tenure of non-management director. Furthermore, it has underperformed since Bob Iger was first appointed CEO in 2005, a period during which he has served as CEO or executive chairman for all but 11 months. Disney shareholders were once over $200 billion wealthier than they are now. Fucking hell. Unfortunately, this is the real killer. Unfortunately, the board and the CEO appear to have no conviction that things will get better. The non-management directors collectively own less than $15 million of Disney stock, and Mr. Iger has sold the vast majority of his own ownership stake, built up primarily through share-based compensation, more than $1 billion of Disney stock, leaving shareholders alone to face the daunting reality of complex turnaround in a rapidly evolving industry. So what he's saying here, right, what they're saying here is the individuals that were on the board have actually no personal stake in the business doing well. We do, because we've got $3 billion of stock, which is a pretty great comment to make. And real quick, we've got Jonas dropping in here as well. So we'll read a little bit more, and then I'll get all of your thoughts. That turnaround does not appear to be materialized. And since Mr. Iger's first earnings call after returning as CEO, tens of billions of shareholder value has been lost. Consensus earnings per share estimates for fiscal years 24-25 have fallen meaningfully, even as company claims to be cutting billions of costs. Studio content continues to disappoint consumers, slowing the speed of flywheel and threatening future earnings growth. More generally, Disney appears no closer to adequately addressing the compensation, misalignment, governance, and succession issues that have plagued the company for decades. This is their killer, I think. The root cause of Disney's underperformance, in our view, is a board that is too closely connected to a long-tenured CEO and too disconnected from shareholders' interests. The board, we believe, lacks objectivity as well as focus, alignment, and accountability, although the recent appointment of 2 new directors to the Disney's board is a step towards greater board objectivity and a belated acknowledgement by the company of the need for change. This reactive board self-refreshment on the eve of a proxy contest is insufficient, in our opinion, both because the new directors were chosen without shareholder input and because they seemingly do not own meaningful amounts of stock. There's a little bit more but predominantly the last two take homes are Nelson Peltz, nominated as, board member, seat member. And secondly, it's James A. Rasulo, who was the CFO of Disney, and who, as they say, just as a bit of background, Jay spent 3 decades at Disney and served as senior executive vice president and chief financial officer of the company from 2010 to 2015. During his tenure as CFO, the company delivered compound annual returns of approximately 27%, compounding earnings per share at a rate of approximately 20%, paid a consistent and generous dividend. But you're taking it right to the shareholders. That's what they want. And Disney's share price appreciated over 250%. Before being appointed CFO, Jay was chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, president of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, so 202, 205, 205, 209, delivering compound high single-digit revenue and segment operating income growth annually. Bob Iger called Jay a vital contributor to Disney's success with a strategic acumen and savvy insight. Oh my God, what do you guys think? Holy shit.
I love it. Do you know that Disney has already responded, actually?
No. What did they say?
They said Disney hasn't. Well, I'm going to summarize. It was very short, but they said Disney hasn't.
Where did they say this?
On their own. I'll drop the link in the private chat. But
will they have a press statement?
They do. Yes. Okay. Here, I'll drop it back here, or I can present it if you want.
You present it. You do it. Come on, it's your show now.
Glad to be here on the Mr. C channel. Statement from the Walt Disney Company, Burbank, California, December 14th. They confirmed today that they received everything. This is where they actually start to talk about it. Disney has an experienced, diverse, and highly qualified board that is focused on long-term performance of the company, strategic growth initiatives, including ongoing transformation.
Fucking liars.
Diverse,
mate. It doesn't. That's all that matters, right? They've got someone that's black. They've got someone that's yellow. Someone that's white. I mean, they got all those the bloody rainbow colors. It's all diverse.
Yeah, and they're almost all from the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, here's their last
all
two.
Of them friends of Bob Iger.
These are the last two nominees, by the way. James Gorman from Morgan Stanley and Sir Jeremy Derrick. Do you know him? I think he's British. Do you know him by chance?
He used to work for Sky or something like that.
Yes.
Sky's not massively well liked in this country, to be fair.
So I take this as Disney using diversity literally as a shield when they're just going to do whatever they want to do. They have nothing here. Jay Rasulo is about as qualified as a person could get to sit on the Disney board. In fact, you could argue that he should be an executive at the company right now. So this is a great pick. He should be on the board regardless. I think the only reason that he's not there is that Iger screwed him over back in the day.
Yes. Yeah. He shoved him aside and put Staggs there and then shoved Staggs out the door. So it's a whole conversation to be had. But Jonas, I mean, is there anything in here that that investors can put their teeth in?
No, I don't think there's. If you're asking if there's a problem with Jay Rasulo, no, absolutely not. He's a perfect pick, and he might have an axe to grind against Bob Iger. But what's more overwhelming here is he is a person who is intimately connected with the most profitable, what should be the most profitable segment of the company. This is somebody who can actually push back on Bob Iger on ideas for growing the company. They're supposedly investing $60 billion in the parks over the next 10 years. We've done the math here. It looks like that's probably going to end up like less than $500 million per park per year. And most of that's going to be a decade from now, as opposed to recently. So if you want to unlock the value of the Walt Disney Company, it needs to be done by transforming the parks. Because the movie business is definitely not doing it. They don't have anyone there that can fix the movie business right now. So the next best thing is the parks, which should be a money printing machine, and they just keep refusing to repair it.
Well, I mean, you could change the movie business like from the board side as well, But like, right, what executives are we? Who do we? What producers? What executives are we working with here? Right. Well, what have they presided over that's been successful and been at a loss? I mean, Nelson Peltz would probably look at it from that. It's like profit versus loss. What's this person done? Been influential in that's been a huge loss for the company? Right, get rid of him then.
The amazing thing to me is that if you're just a person who is paying for movies to be made, It seems like it would be easier to make these decisions. Who has done a good job? Well, let's pay them and just trust them to make good films. They seem to have scared off Jon Favreau, who seems to be responsible for 2 of the most successful properties of the Walt Disney Company, between The Mandalorian, keeping Star Wars alive in spite of Kathleen Kennedy, and also the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So why have they not just backed up to his house with a truckload of cash and said, we're just going to leave you alone. We're going to show up in a year and see what you have for us, and just go from there. I don't understand why these people are fighting so hard to have some accountability in the boardroom for these master I'm saying this in quotes, for these master communicators to not understand how dumb they look by refusing to admit that they've done some things wrong. It boggles my mind.
It's because they got to get that sweet DEI money.
Yes.
Keep that message going.
That ESG shit up in here.
Yeah.
They fired Kareem Daniel. He was the highest, the most powerful black executive in the movie industry because he worked for Disney during their prime. As soon as Bob Iger showed up, the first thing he did, because he couldn't fire Bob Chapek, the first thing he did when he came in the door was fire Kareem Daniel. This is all lip service to diversity in order to use people's skin tones as a shield for their own mediocrity. It's truly vile.
I love that. I love Trian's press release though, because it really is, hey, we're taking this to the shareholders. Here's everything that they're doing that's very clearly, plainly that you can see is actually wrong. And here's the people that, we want to help make it better, who also have ensured that values have gone up by over 250%, and there've been dividends as well. That thing you haven't had for a very long time. Yeah, we want to bring the dividend back. Like, for God's sake.
And they're very specific here. They talk about what the dividends were like under Jay Rasulo as CFO and head of the parks. They were higher. Obviously, Disney ran like clockwork. I can't wait to hear Mexican Iron Man's take on all of this, because he would know, because he was receiving those dividends. But Disney right now with this 30 to 60 cents per year is nothing. That's technically checking the box, which of course there's a lot of box checking that goes on with the Walt Disney Company. Not to keep going back to this, when they show their breakdown of board members, they literally have a diversity checkbox that they're putting literal check marks next to everybody's diversity quotient on the thing here. Right. It is about as shallow and as if I were diverse, I'm diverse in ways that won't be disclosed here. But if I were as diverse as Disney would want me to be, I would be so insulted that we would reduce these people down to, oh, well, you're a woman, so we need you here to agree with everything that Bob Iger says. Oh, you're a black guy, you need to come over here and agree with everything Bob Iger says. How insulting.
Us, but these people, they feel that they've been so underrepresented for so long, they'll jump at the chance, even though they know it's insulting themselves. Like, it's just, don't denigrate yourself, don't lower yourself to this nonsense. It's just pathetic. Meritocracy. What happened to that?
We covered this a little bit on That Park Place, and Tom gave me a little nudge to say, hey, don't talk about all the broken lights at Epcot while you have this massive boardroom battle going on. And he was absolutely right. But I will point out that Epcot right now is as broken as it could be.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still not all the way fixed. I think they've still got walls up, but the lights on this 6-year construction project are busted. And this Moana Journey of Water attraction that took forever to build also shut down because apparently they can't keep the water from coming out of the ground.
They don't know the engineering on something that comes out of a company that specializes in Imagineering, which one of the disciplines is engineering, is just garbage.
Right. And we're also hearing from a source that we're choosing to protect. Obviously, he's a source. We're going to protect him, but we're keeping their name out of all of this. The Walt Disney Company is already preparing for the idea that their next big attraction, which they're not releasing anything big until the end of next year, whenever this Tiana's Bayou Adventure thing comes out, they're already prepping a anyone who doesn't like this is racist defense for that ride.
Well, that's just
Mm.
come on now. Of course
They're
they are. That's
hiring-
everything.
But Jonas, tell them about the officer that they're employing to do that and why.
I don't know how much I'm able to say. They're
Oh.
basically prepping the Riva defense already.
Yeah,
They view that whatever that campaign was as successful. I guess they took the fact that Obi-Wan was more successful than other Star Wars properties as, oh well, we did a great job with the marketing of this one. Oh my.
They're officially starting a department of propaganda.
Love it.
I bet it's a big, huge Wakanda land.
No, well, they did say while they're struggling to get shows together, they are going to do a Wakanda animated series.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
I
if Black
saw
Panther
that,
will.
yeah.
I don't know if Black Panther is still going to be dead, but yeah, they're hoping that the superhero cartoon audience, which again seems to be boys, is going to show up for the Women of Wakanda, the View of Wakanda series.
I you know, yeah, I could, yeah, it'd be good. Obviously not. Said no one fucking ever.
Mm.
What's our sort of thoughts on the Nelson Peltz situation, James Rasulo though? Haven't heard from Nick, Culture, Tom, Andre.
Who do you want to begin?
I don't got a whole lot
Whoever.
to add. This is all
Fucking
just
free-for-all,
funny
just
to
do it.
me.
Jump in, have a scrap. Who wants to speak?
Okay, let's have a scrap. This is absolutely genius. First of all, like this is a brutal takedown, and it is what I have been waiting for, because I've been waiting for this. Disney doesn't have a board. They have a board in name only, but they do not have a board that is remotely capable of functioning like a board. This is a matter of public record in writing, courtesy of CNBC, who many have said it privately, many have said it in streams, Mexican Iron Man for one. But CNBC is a financial publication who put it in writing, that every single appointee at the board were placed there by Bob Iger himself. They all have a personal relationship with him, and not a single one of them is qualified in anything pertaining to entertainment. Put all of that together, and what you get, Disney doesn't have a board. You have a board in name only, but that really is there because Bob Iger needs it to get his way. If he says jump, that board is going to ask how high. That's the only function of that board. It's technically needed. If anything, this statement was mild on that. But at the same time, in business lingo, this was as brutal as it gets. Carry on, Jonas.
No, can I point out how amazing that is when you consider how far-reaching Disney is in the entertainment space? They don't have anyone with any movie experience. They don't have anyone with any television experience. Technology experience, I think they might have somebody who had some experience at Oracle, but
they have a bunch of pharmaceutical experience.
Yeah. Which I'm actually kind of surprised at this point that Disney hasn't tried to go for that market. Honestly,
well, they have. You have like special like Marvel animated specials and stuff where.
Oh, that's true.
Where they tell everyone, go get your treatment, and they have like the pictures of everyone with the plasters and everything. So yeah, they have that. You totally see the pharmaceutical influence from the board that you can see.
So and now the latest hire, which I actually do think he's a good pick, Hugh Johnston. He's an experienced CFO and he's good with mergers and acquisitions. But at the same time, he is definitely at this point, I will say he's definitely not a Peltz guy. He's had experience fighting Peltz. He's from the Microsoft board, and the new I guess we're two billionaires back here when I say this. Mason Morfitt from ValueAct had the same board seat that Hugh Johnston had at Microsoft. They just switch seats there when Morfitt left the board. So I would not be surprised if more globalists take this board if Disney gets their way. So
do you know who next will be on it? I've got it.
Are you talking about Gorman from Morgan Stanley?
No, no, they got one more seat left. I bet you anything who's going to get it. Any ideas?
No, I'm waiting with bated breath.
Klaus Schwab.
That would be epic.
I will run
I
Disney.
wouldn't be
as well.
surprised, but I don't think it's
Fucking
needed
hell.
because they all answer to him anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ah, dear.
A man who
I
is
mean,
pretty
same
much
with,
like a
with,
Disney villain.
with Larry Fink. I mean, they all answer to him, so why would he need to be on the board? All of his lieutenants are.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. Bloody Wef stooges. Fucking scum. God.
Scum of the
Dear, oh
earth.
dear. Culture, you want to drop in on this one, or have you just buggered off? I think you might have buggered off.
I didn't
Working
go
on
for off.
stingers.
No, I mean my thoughts are very, very similar to where Jonas is going to lead. I look at it, and despite my personal issues with Rasulo, based on some financial decisions that he made, he was the person responsible for leading Disney into some very profitable years and getting up ahead of steam to head into their most profitable time. And he did so with some sound financial practices, including stock buyback plans and things like that, that artificially helped to elevate the stock price and grow its cap over time. And that's a tried and true process to take stock off the market to prop up the price. And they did that with profits, which they haven't had a whole lot of in the last few years, especially under the reemergence of bounce back Bob Iger. Rasulo would be a sound pick and likely a sound candidate for the future to run the company as a whole. Now,
That's true, actually. That is
you
true.
know,
That was a long time ago.
I look at it and I go, there was a healthy crew of management there for a long time. Rasulo, Staggs, Mayer, even the crazy lunatic that they had doing media relations, Xenia Muncha, did a great job at preventing the bows and arrows from reaching the company as a whole. So all of those people are now blown to the wind for the most part, despite the fact that Mayer and Staggs have recently returned. So my thoughts are Rasulo would be an excellent person to partner with if you're a Nelson Peltz. And those two gentlemen can certainly change the trajectory of this company and likely bring some transparency to everyone about what's really going on behind the scenes. And I believe they would use that opportunity to, do some fiduciary duty and honestly reveal what it is that's driving this company to make some really stupid decisions.
Well, that is, I mean, that's the sort of be all and end all. Be all, fucking the Negronis are kicking in. The be all and end all of it is the fact that these individuals, well, at least Nelson Peltz, Trian Management, are personally invested. They have a financial investment in it. So they have a vested interest, quite literally, in the success of the company now, whereas Bob Iger doesn't. He doesn't. He's going to get paid anyway. He's going to get bonuses anyway. He doesn't give a fuck. He can just ride the wave of ESG and DEI constantly until that company's run completely into the ground. He's almost at retirement age. Well, he is at retirement age anyway. He can fuck off. It doesn't
Also,
matter to
then
him.
he's going to have so many other DEI positions waiting for him. He's going to be on the boards of all of the company that he has board members from. He's going to be a well-paid board member from all of that. Klaus Schwab is going to have some nice position stuff for him. He's going to give speaking engagements in the next WEF meetings and stuff like that, talking about the importance of diversity, entertainment, and all of that stuff. I mean, he's made for life. He doesn't care what happens to Disney. Well, he does care because it is his legacy and he wants his 2 shower days for as long as possible, obviously. But like financially, if it has to go under for the cause, then that's a price that he's very willing for Disney to pay. I mean, we saw it right there. He's sold out his own stock already, probably because he realizes that, this company is just going to have to go for the cause.
For the sake of, it'll have to die for the sake of die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Tom, do you want any closing thoughts on this, mate?
Tom,
Let's get it on.
there he is.
Can't wait. It's gonna be good. I can't wait for the proxy fight. Zahn.
Yep, we've got. We should know by probably March. I think it was April, early April, when Valiant had his call, and that's when things got really spicy. People were calling in, and it's not just where you get the institutional investors that have a vested interest in keeping the stock up, so they won't ask anything too crazy. The annual shareholders call, they open it up to the little guys who are actually pretty angry.
I love that. It's so funny. That is the best time.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Mhm.
it.
That's when Bob Iger gets asked to his face, "Hey, maybe you need to abandon some of this woke stuff." So
Are
why
they
is the company
required by
focused on
law to do that, or do they do that just for the investors? Is that their call to have these?
They have to do some kind of investors presentation. Although I see Mexican Iron Man in the chat, he probably would know better than me on the investor aspect of it. I'm more on the corporate finance side.
Well, let's
I did send him a
shuffle
link
on.
if he's available.
He's already got it. We need to shuffle on a little bit though, so we'll get to some of these super chats as well as Mexican Iron Man's comments. So what was this? Platonic Guardian for $5 says the shift in the shift. Is that a film?
Yeah, that's the
And-
next Angel Studios film.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't see that. And
I've seen it.
Napoleon was
Andre's seen
disappointing.
it.
But Godzilla -1 exceeded every expectation. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best film of the year. Better than Oppenheimer. My brain is getting. a
Well,
bit
it's one of
mushy
those points where a sequel's better than the original. So,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to England to see it.
now. Have you still not seen it?
No, I can't.
Oh,
It's not out where I'm at currently. Like I'm in a horrible.
fucking
place for
incredible.
movies.
Honestly,
yeah,
it's
I know.
great.
I know. Rub
Hmm.
salt. I'm gonna have to.
you
hop
don't
on the
know
plane to
because you've not
England
seen
at
it.
some point. I have gotten so much of that. You have no idea. I'm not
You
even
will
joking.
know when you watch it.
I'm gonna check for tickets to England right now.
Oh dear. Well, I'll go watch it with you. Come
Yeah,
to my
cool.
neck of the woods.
Yeah, cool. I'll
Do
let
it.
me know.
Horseradish Power. They've extended it again. They've extended the run again in the US
Oh,
and added
nice.
more theaters. Fucking insane.
Wait,
But remember, Grace Randolph, she says it's a bomb. Okay, it's bombing. It's not doing very well. There's no money.
She said that about Godzilla -1.
yes, mate.
I did
And she
not hear
also
that.
said it was apparently.
Wow.
I haven't heard her exact words, but apparently it's like
Conservatives.
there's a
Trump
conservative movement
supporters
behind
driving
it.
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Which, side note, on the second channel, that video, what dumb shit did Gray say this week? Blowing up again. Love it. Love that segment.
Where's my
like-
cut?
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
absolutely. I love it. It's super, super funny. Yeah, so yeah, she's a dunce and everyone hates her and she can't speak unless she sounds like she's being mutilated like a rodent or something like that. Anyway, Horseradish Power has been a member for 32 months. Says, I see Pelt's situation as interesting timing. This could distract Hollywood through 2024. Disney is FUBAR. It needs to go. The sooner, the better. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess the movie biz is very, very similar to politics, where they just move on to the next thing, don't they? There's always something for people to gripe about, some kind of situation that's there, you know, all this kind of nonsense. So, but yeah, they are done. C. Kramer's been a member for 26 months. Thank you so much. And Mexican Iron Man, member for 13 months. I did send you the link, dude. Fun fact: total stock value of current board members is less than $15 million versus Pelt's group with no board seats worth $3 billion. Yeah, which is the point, isn't it? I mean, that's why they're able to go direct to the shareholders. I mean, just that alone, that statement alone, being like, well, they're not personally invested in the company. There's no vested interest in it actually succeeding. There is and there isn't. It's not the same. You know, we have money invested in this. We really want to make it successful. It's a pretty compelling argument. I mean, we believe in it. We've invested $3 billion worth.
Yeah, which makes it crazy that they can't even get a board seat.
Yeah,
When
that's a really good point.
I mean, just like Mike said, the current board members less than 15 million versus Peltz's group with no board seats worth $3 billion. They should. I mean, they're fighting for this
That's
board seat. They
all.
should get it.
That's all the board members combined, Nick.
Yeah.
All of the board members.
They only
I'm
own about
surprised they only ask for 2 board seats. I mean, if I was
Yeah.
Peltz, I would be demanding 3 and settle for 2. You should be
Yeah.
demanding
Yeah.
3.
He should have
Just
been
as a
like, just
statement.
nominate me the fucking CEO, please. I've got
Yeah.
$3 billion.
Oh, that's step 2. That's step 2 because you notice that in that thing, they went directly after Iger. They essentially said the company's been underperforming ever since he came to power in 2005.
Mm.
This was they went straight for the throat. I mean, you have to remember, like, they aren't direct as we are here in streams. You are never that in like a corporate filing. It's all business terms. But still, in the matter of business terms, there you have like different degrees of intention and of intensity. Let's put it that way. And this one right here, I mean, I sent someone in to wipe the blood off the floors. This was brutal. For a corporate filing, this was about as brutal as it gets.
So funny.
And
well deservedly so.
And what's as bad as all their movies and shows and stuff are doing, I actually heard a John Campea clip the other day where he was defending Disney, saying they for years were making billions and billions of dollars. So yeah, they have one bad year. It's not hurting the company at all. They for years they made billions of dollars. They have 1, 2 bad years. It's not that big a deal for them. I'm like,
can we look into why they did that? Because if you go into why, then it gets really, really bad. But again, when it comes to being a Disney chill, like the worst I've ever seen is John Campea. He's such a Bob Iger fanboy.
Yeah,
I mean, he has such fan goggles on that the advice that he gives to his viewers, it's appalling. I mean, I'm in shock at the lies that he served to his audience. I wonder how many. Well, looking at his comments, it would appear that fewer and fewer actually believe the bullshit that he's saying. But I mean, in our comments, we still get some people that do believe in Iger's lies and will buy into that bullshit hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, there's lots of money, but look into why. What was the primary driver of that money? Oh, it's Marvel. Oh, when did Marvel make that money again? Remind me. Oh, it was when Ike Perlmutter was in charge, and when you had the leftovers of that. Now, let's point out on like a chart of earnings, exactly at which point is it that Kevin Feige stepped in as the CEO of Marvel Studios with no checks and balances whatsoever. Anyone care to take a guess? When he had absolutely all power?
Was it 2016?
I don't know. Well, that's when he got it on paper, but there were still loads of Marvel Creative Committee projects left to release at that point. No, the point when he was fully in charge, when everything, all the projects were personally set up by him and greenlit by him without the influence from anyone that directly or indirectly were following mandates from the Marvel Creative Committee. Phase 4.
Surprise, surprise.
That's the moment when it's 100% Kevin Feige and 0% anyone from any previous administration. And that's when it all went to hell. I mean, this whole concept, this stupid thing with like Wanda being there watching sitcoms. I mean, it's a pretty hokey concept. Who came up with that concept? Who came up with that idea?
That was definitely Feige. Yeah.
It was his idea. He's the one who came up with it.
Brilliant. Jonas, my dude, I'm aware you need to head on out there.
Yeah, I got a childcare situation. I got two boys who are very excited, and I think it sounds like they're about to get into it downstairs. So I need to head out. And,
I know that feeling. Whenever I'm mute, I have to deal with a situation like that myself. So yeah,
I got to go teach him what a clean fight looks like. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for having me on. Always love talking about the Disney board, and I am also very glad to be the lead in here for Mr. H now. That's an amazing honor for me to just be in your proximity, Nate. So
I also have to
BA.
say, I think that is
BA.
fantastic, because this now we have the same time slot 5 days a week, and we have shows after that we can also lead into, and we all hang out, and we can keep our joint audience up to date with all the happenings and entertained all at the same time. It's perfect.
Yep.
That's
Yep, absolutely love it.
Really, really good for the viewers. It's fantastic. It's really, really good.
Well, thanks for having me on, folks. I'm gonna be I'll be listening. So catch you later.
Excellent.
See you, Jonas.
Take care. Right, so let's finish up some of these super chats, then we're going to get to our next topic. So Tom Workin sent in $5, says inclusion, woke, gender swap, never a problem for me. Shit story, rush production, that's everything, and it's everything now.
Yeah,
that is true. That is
Too
true.
bad many of those often come together.
Yeah, that is true. Well, yeah, because you're doing inclusion in the sort of behest
You're
of a
not
good story
doing
and a
it
good
because
narrative.
the story needs it. You're forcing it onto the story, and that's when you get the shit story. And since they're struggling with putting together the story, and they have a fixed release date, that's when you get a rushed production. So inclusion, woke, gender swap, these things, they may not be a problem on their own, but they are the things that will compromise the story, and therefore give a rushed production, and everything falls apart from there.
Yep, absolutely agreed with that. Brett Cohen drops in with $5 Australian dues and says, came in 20 minutes late, but Tom, what do you think about the Beverly Hills Cop 4 trailer? Wait. All right, come on then, Tom. Beverly Hills 4, what do you think?
Oh, wow.
I'm putting you on the spot. This is your segment now.
Well, here's the thing. I talked to somebody who saw a test screening of this a while back. Got kind of mixed reactions to it. The trailer looks okay, but the trailer is not telling you what this movie really is.
No.
There's a lot of nostalgia thrown into that trailer too.
Yes.
You are being masturbated.
Most of the cameos have already been spoiled in the trailer, because they're all mostly cameos. Let's be real here. The movie is mostly about Eddie having an estranged daughter in California. She's in the trailer for a whole of 2 seconds. They are hiding her in this trailer.
Yeah.
Her husband is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's in it for 2 seconds. And the whole plot revolves around them.
That's what it sounds like. This sounds like they're selling it under false flag.
Now, what the person who saw it said, because he was like, I'm not a big fan of Beverly Hills Cop as you are. Obviously, he couldn't even remember if he even the last time he'd seen part 3 or the first 2. He said it'd been a while. But the daughter is, from my understanding, from the character that he wound up with at the end of part 3. They broke up or whatever. He's back in Detroit. She raised the daughter in California. The daughter's now an adult, married to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is a cop, a Beverly Hills cop. Kevin Bacon's in it. He's a cop / take your guess what he is, probably. Anyway, yeah, from what I heard, some of the scenes are great. Cameos are great. Eddie's pretty decent in it. Problem is, when his daughter tries to do Axel Foley things, it comes off as cringe. So you have a bunch of scenes where she's trying to be her dad. For those who remember from Beverly Hills Cop, what the whole gimmick is, when Axel Foley tries to get into a situation, he usually lies about it, comes up with some story, whatever to get into the situation. So they have a lot of those kind of moments with his daughter, and it just doesn't.
So she's just naturally like him because she comes from him, but she doesn't actually know him.
Yeah,
so it's not like he raised her and she picked up this stuff from being around him her whole life. It's just
I don't know.
Hey, this seems a little racisty. It doesn't sound good.
Of course, it's another black woman married to a white man. That's a trope now in Hollywood.
Mm.
The only other thing that's good though is they did get pretty much the whole original cast back for the most part.
Do you think they reworked the Blade script into Beverly Hills 4?
They hadn't shot
Passing
this
of the
movie a
baton.
long time ago, and it hadn't been done now for the better part of a year. Yeah,
I can't believe Taggart came back. I didn't even recognize it was him till I heard his voice. His voice still sounds the same, but he looks very, very different.
honestly, to me, Eddie comes off very low energy in this.
Well,
Axel
he left
Foley-
movies for ages, didn't he? Like he basically was like he was done with everything for a very long time. He basically said, "I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I'm done now," and he sort of just exited everything. And it's
He's
only
been
just
working for
recently he's
Netflix
coming
and
back.
Amazon more recently.
That's what I mean. It's only recently he's come back.
I was curious on checking out that Candy Cane Lane, but then I heard about it and I was like, I think I'll skip
Well,
it.
I heard it's like, see, Coming to America was one of his bigger comeback movies that was on Amazon, and that thing sucked ass.
Yeah,
It
I
was
watched
so
it
bad.
and I was like, oh, this is not good. I like the first one, but this is just not good.
Jesus.
And people have asked me something I thought I didn't even think to ask the guy I talked to months ago, and I don't even know if I can get back in hold of him again. I didn't even think to ask if it was like more of an R-rated or PG-13 bend, because people have been asking me now, is it going to be R? Is it going to be R? I mean, all the movies before this were rated R, so I'm going to assume they're going to stick with that. But this trailer doesn't really show us anything to give us any indication that it could be rated R.
Right, the others they didn't they? Did they? I don't think.
No, all three of the original are rated R.
No, I mean, excuse me, that was rude. What I mean is the trailers didn't give any indication that they're going to be R-rated. I don't think.
It doesn't have any rating to it, but I mean, they don't give us any, like, there's no swearing in it at all. So, like, I said,
Yeah.
very low energy in it. And Axel Foley is like when Eddie's on 11, right? Like
Yeah.
that. He's
Hyper animated.
He's talking. He's talking because he's a fast talker. And this is every line is a slow delivery. And it's like, who is this guy? It's not Axel Foley.
Forgotten his character.
He's gotten slow in his old age.
But don't worry, because he's not going to stay around for long. It'll be his daughter, Waxel Foley.
Yeah, I'm curious how this goes because Netflix did sign on for the rights to 2 films.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
She'll be the lead in the next one.
There you go. Exactly. Fucking hell.
Passing the torch to his daughter.
Oh god, what a pile of absolute wank. Seriously.
The first 2
Absolute wank.
Beverly Hills Cop movies is all there was.
But yeah, this trailer basically confirmed everything that the guy that saw the test screening told me. Yeah, and I didn't even have to see the girl stuff. It just, the fact that the stuff that he told me outside of that lines up directly with what he told me. Yeah, Surge is in the trailer. They even gave that away in the trailer.
Yeah.
He's got a cameo in it. But
Serge.
You say
Serge.
Surge. It sounds like a detergent.
No, Serge.
Surge.
Oh,
Surge.
God. Right, well.
Serge.
Sorry.
Yeah. Doesn't sound good then, does it? Let's be honest.
Well, I'm
This-
sending
this-
everybody in with low expectations, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe.
This is one of those trailers where they know it's not even comparable to the first 2 movies, which were the best 2 by far. And so they show you every single little clip and bit to suck you in without telling you anything about the story at all.
Awkward Foley. I love that fluffy panda.
Yeah, right there. Oh,
Aqua?
well.
Can
There
Can you
you
tell
go.
me, Summers,
Foley?
that Achmel, Axel Foley is here to see her, please?
Yeah. Oh,
There
and then
you
his
go.
reappearance in the third one. Oh, with the stupid little.
I actually
Rocket
liked him in the
launcher
third person.
thing.
In the third one, that's his. Just
He
I
had
like
way
the
more
third one.
lines, but that little stuff he was selling, the little
the Annihilator, whatever it was.
yeah, with the camcorder attached to it, you know. that's just like, oh god, this is so
The
lame.
third film in the third act does kind of go off the rails. And I know people don't like that one as much. The thing is, I'll give that movie a pass because John Landis had the insurmountable task of the studio, because that movie was just in development hell for years. It had gone through several different directors. Finally, John Landis, who Eddie Murphy said he would never work with again, and it's a long, convoluted story, but they patched up. And the problem was Paramount's like, here's the deal. Eddie don't want to be funny no more. And John's like, what? He's like, yeah, he wants to be more serious. Okay, so what do I do? He's like, so try to make Eddie funny without him knowing it. So that's the problem with the third film. Eddie Murphy was on his way to, I want to be an Oscar nominated actor at that point. Yeah. And he depicted during Beverly Hills Cop 3 of all places.
God damn. Right.
So that's why the movie kind of fell flat.
So I guess he wanted to be more like Riggs or Murtaugh in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, to him, this was his action franchise, right? Like, yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
But God,
He saw us
hopefully-
competing with Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger and stuff. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super warped. Okay, then. Well, hopefully that answers your question there, Brett, my dude. D sent in 20 Australian dollar dues, says John is brain broken. Anyone that makes that statement has no idea how public companies work.
John Campia.
Yeah, he's talking.
Oh,
John
right.
Campia.
It's John
We were
Campia.
talking about Campia earlier.
He's a total cuck. Honestly, he's a retard. Anyway.
He has completely lost it, yeah.
A nog sipping barn. Love this. Love the new avatar. Because I presume this is a tipping barn. Who's changed his name to a nog sipping barn for $4.99. See, I remember people. Said, what's to stop Disney from packing the next stockholder call in meeting with plans?
Oh, I think they've done that for many years already. I mean, when you look at some of those stockholder questions and stuff, they're also softball that they all have to be, not all of them, but many of them obviously are like pre-screened and pre-arranged. I think they have done a fairly solid job in fortifying the incoming calls. No way that is as random as we are led to believe. No way.
100%.
Yeah. That one that
100%.
squeaked through the last time was amazing, and don't ever expect that to happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Get spoiled.
Glorious. I love that. Norless Plains sent in 100 Norwegian kroner. Says, Andre, please check British overseas territory of Gibraltar for Godzilla -1 tickets. P.S. Jasper is the man. He certainly is.
I'd love to go to Gibraltar, but you know what? It's cheaper to go to London.
There you go.
I can have more fun in London.
But what he's saying is, Paulus, is he wants to come hang out with me.
I can do that too in London. Mr. H is not in Gibraltar. I've hung out with Mr. H before. That was fun.
So wait, we're all headed to the UK to see Mr. H?
Please do. It'll be
Okay.
a good time.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'll start working on booking my airline tickets.
I can
Tom
see this
Workins-
being just like Wayne's World too. Like
That's right.
we'll pretend to be sent there, and then the guys will just have two body doubles that look like, or three bottle doubles that look like us.
Picture of me from the back.
Because I'd love to go to Gibraltar, but one
Yeah.
thing that I can't do in Gibraltar is go hang out in Soho with Mr. H after seeing Godzilla.
This
Yeah.
is true.
I can't
This
believe
is very
Paramount
true.
spent the money to send us to England.
I'll even see if I can get some of my old study mates to come out as well. I mean, they're dry. They work at big banks and stuff like that. But when they get a couple of drinks, the English comes out in them.
That's the thing. You only need to get, no matter how sort of straight edge someone is in the UK, get a few beers in them. That's it. They're done.
Yeah, I know. I have many like I did my masters in the UK. I have many stories.
Yeah. Tom Workins sent in $2. Shortcuts, absolutely. And last but not least, before we move on, Donovan Bradford has been a member for 31 months. So if you sign up and become a member, ladies and gents, member of the channel, you get a free monthly super chat. So please do consider it or become a Patreon. And so Donovan says, it makes me sad Beverly Hill Cops really fell off at number 3 because I grew up watching the series with my late father. Good times. We do apologize to hear that. That's not nice, and not nice obviously it fell off, but maybe the new one will be good. Maybe. Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. Maybe though. Probably not. But maybe. Probably not.
Don't hold your breath. Just play it safe. I mean, hope for the best and expect the worst. That's a good way of protecting yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the person that saw it said it was better than Coming to America 2, at least.
Oh, yeah, that's a really high bar right there.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. There you go. Well, something that hasn't fallen off the map. It's added more, and it's extended it again. Just keeps going and going.
Good.
It's going to be done by Friday, Nate.
Oh, they have to get it out by Friday?
It's going to be over. The box office is over. It's a little niche
Honestly.
film. It's
Randolph.
small.
Oh, never mind. You're Grace Randolph. You got to do something with your voice when you do that. I think you're actually being honest.
I'm on the laptop. I've got no bells or whistles.
All you got to do is just go, so, before you say that. See, then I'll know what you're doing.
So they tweeted this out yesterday. No, 2 days ago, sorry. No, yeah, it was yesterday. Jesus, my brain. Can't get enough of Godzilla -1. Starting December 15th, the film will be playing on even more North American screens, increasing to over 2,600 locations in the US and Canada. Get your tickets today. So I think they're extending it, because that's otherwise they're only extending it for more theaters for 1 day. So it's been extended. I mean, this is great. This is brilliant. What, like, everyone that's like, oh, it's crap, it's conservatives. Oh, shut up, Grace. Shut up. Shut up.
Oh my god.
Oh, honestly, we've ripped her apart. You haven't seen the second channel videos, have you, Andre?
No,
They're
I
so
haven't,
funny.
unfortunately.
It's literally.
I just listened to you and I imagined. That's all I really did.
Honestly, she says like, "Oh, conservatives have rallied around it." No, but people just like the film. They're like, because it seems like a big.
Again, when you look at the
Hollywood.
box
No.
office here, you know that the lesson that should be learned from this, that Hollywood needs to learn. Maybe you
Make a
do
good
want to
fucking
make
film.
movies that conservatives rally around, because
Yep.
if we've learned anything this year, that's actually good for movies.
Well, yeah, that is a counter argument, I guess.
Yeah,
But the thing is, there's nothing political about it in that respect. It's just a very good film. It's my like we haven't spoken, Andre, about this yet. It is my top film of 2023. It
yeah,
beats
I believe
everything.
you. I can't wait to see it. And from everything I've heard,
Same.
it's going to be mine too. And I would like to
Mm.
stress that I think that 2023, comic book movies aside and Disney aside, has been the best year for movies in many, many years.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, we've had some amazing movies come out this year. The Equalizer Part 3, that was fantastic. Saw X
Right.
was tremendously good, far better than it has
It
any
was.
right to be. Part 11 was announced only yesterday. Before
Renfield
that, you
was
have
great.
the new Mission Impossible,
Oh, yeah.
which I liked tremendously. Renfield was amazing. I mean,
Look what I got from the overseas today.
yeah, there you
Renfield
go.
4K.
There you go,
Hey.
Renfield.
Tetris is amazing. People are not talking about Tetris enough, and that's Apple's fault. That's fucking Apple's fault.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Air is great
Volta, a
too.
movie that came out
Hey,
a
I
couple
loved
weeks
Air.
ago.
Great soundtrack with Air too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
that's
fucking
true.
flick.
Yep.
I
I haven't
I
seen
liked
like,
Tetris yet.
Haunting in Venice. I thought that was the best of the three Poirot. Did I say it right,
Great
Andre?
movie. We need more of those. That reminds me, I have a video to write.
Oh, The Killer on Netflix. That was a really good film, actually. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Godzilla, amazing, and it's blowing it up. This is the highest grossing foreign language film of the year, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I mean, what else could it possibly be?
No, it's just breaking records. Is I guess the point I'm trying to say. Is it? Well, this will be one of the highest rated movies on Rotten Tomatoes this year as well. I think on both audience.
Yeah, it was
and
sitting at
critic.
100 for the longest time. I think it dipped down to about 98 or 97 as far as the
Mm.
critics rating, but I still think the audience score is still up there pretty high at like 99 or 100.
Mm. And
Last
it
I looked.
absolutely deserves it. I'm really glad that it's extending theaters. I'm guessing what the mechanism for this is just the distributors were able to get the theaters, convince the theaters to open more screens for them. Is
Oh,
that-
I don't
clearly,
think
clearly.
the theaters don't need much convincing. I mean, the
No.
theaters, typically the way it
No.
works, the theaters see that, this is really selling. We're selling loads of candy here. Because honestly, like film, like CinemaCon and stuff like that for the exhibitors shouldn't really be about the movies. It should be like the candy manufacturers showing, here's our collection of this here. Here's our new chocolate. Here's our new blah, 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 blah. Because they go like, oh, we're selling so many tickets and we're selling so much candy for the people that want to go to those theaters. Please give us a few more screens here because people want this. I mean, that's how it works. The demand here is coming from theaters, isn't it? It's not that they need convincing. They're the ones asking for more screens because they want to sell out everything all the time, don't they? They don't have to ask. I mean, the only times when they have to ask is if they have like some kind of deal with Marvel or Disney or something, and people aren't showing up. Then they're like, can we please just, no one is watching. We're wasting all these screens. No one is coming. Please let us get out of the deal and put something else. It's bad for business to keep honoring your contract and having empty screening after empty screening when people want to see Godzilla. I mean, that's how it works. Much of this is done like locally. That's where the demand comes from. This is local grassroots demand for the movie. The theaters are the ones that fill up more screens, and the exhibitor or the distributor is only happy to sign off on more screens because it's more money for them. Everyone's happy.
I completely agree, but I'm having too much fun pissing.
No, I think the box office is what's convinced them. And I mean, yeah, I think at first what the problem was, they probably just couldn't get enough screens at first to accommodate the initial reaction to it. And the theaters opened up, and the longer it keeps playing, the more they're going to keep it there. The only thing that I know of is they have to have it out by the end of the year.
I think, yeah, well,
So they could push it out yet another week.
But is that only going to be in the States then? Because surely it's
Just in the States. Yes, it can keep playing for,
okay.
as far as I know, it can keep playing forever everywhere else. But yeah. That's the beauty of this movie, though. It's barely opened in any other countries, right? Like Mexico, the UK, Australia, I think is it outside of the US and Japan, right?
Opens the UK this weekend.
Okay, so UK this weekend. There you go.
It will tear it up this weekend. Guaranteed to rip it apart.
So this is just getting started. Yeah.
So it opens in the UK this weekend?
Yep.
But you've already seen it, right?
Yeah, it's part of a theatre membership where they do advanced screenings for films like the week ahead or something like that. So I signed up to this Cineworld in the UK. I signed up to Cineworld to do this. I've never done it before.
Yeah, and it's sorry, Nate. I was just going to say they still don't have the Japan numbers up on the numbers. A lot of numbers aren't up on the numbers. So there's no place that has accurate numbers for Godzilla right now.
You know why that is? I think I had an epiphany about Japan. Is again what dumbass Grace Randolph doesn't fucking understand because she's a dunce. Is in Japan, like I've said before, is that Toho owns 32% of the theaters in Japan. So they don't have to report any numbers. Don't have to report on it. It's not independently verified. They just keep them to themselves. It doesn't matter. I think that's probably why there's a discrepancy there.
That's crazy.
Which is fine because, sure, like they're just taking.
It's their movie money.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna see
this is the thing. People are like, "Oh, Japan, mate." The dollar again. Grace, such a fucking idiot. The dollar versus the yen, dumbass. Do you know how much money they're making right now in the States? You're such a fool.
How much egg do you think was on her face after the director revealed they only spent between like 11 and 12 million dollars on this movie, basically?
Yeah.
Well, that's why she did that. That's why she keeps coming back and coping. And not to mention, she's probably seen our video as well.
I'm curious if she said anything else lately.
Well, look, there are times when, and I'm going to say this, and then you guys are going to yell at me, but there are times when I really think some of her takes are very poignant. She does a decent job.
I agree.
But she says the most obvious stuff ever.
Right.
Hollywood can't live without blockbusters.
Well, true. But the problem is if you call yourself
Jesus.
but Mr. H, if you call yourself or hey, I have a segment or a show that's called Movie Math, you need to be able to do movie math.
But you know
need to
why?
be able to share with the audience.
She
Yeah,
takes
go
all of
ahead.
that from Deadline, though, mate. She takes it all from Deadline.
I know,
So
I know.
On a Monday,
I know.
she doesn't
Yeah.
even use. It's not her own movie math. That's the point. That's why I was saying
No,
in the
I know.
video that we'd already did is that she actually doesn't know what she's talking about. She literally takes it all from Deadline, or the demographic breakdown, everything. It's all taken from Deadline, and she just presents it as it's her own. It's not. She took it from Deadline because if she was smart, she'd go, actually, Toho has 32% share of the theatricals, you know, the theaters in Japan. So actually, they must be making a pretty good profit. Actually, the dollar versus the yens, you know, well, I mean, they must be making a pretty tidy profit actually in their own dollars. Fucking.
And that's why I said last week when we were talking about this, or earlier this week, I should say, she has very thin opinions, right? They're very thin takes.
Sorry, your opinion. Right, sorry.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, it's just like she's a puddle. She's a mile wide, but an inch deep. She's like, there's no depth in her take because she doesn't look farther than the facts that are presented to her by the mainstream media. It sounds like I've been drinking, but yeah, but no, every once in a while she says something that's very insightful or something she's heard through people that she would know. But at the same time, you have to look at this in a broader way. And I don't know necessarily that her audience or her cares to do that.
And of course not. Come on now. Well, anyway, I can't wait to see it. Andre, get your ass to the theatre and watch it.
Yeah, I'm working on it
right now, and the rest of yourself too. Don't just ship your ass off to see it.
Yeah. No, that would be unnecessary.
Yeah,
I'm quite attached to it. So.
Yeah.
Right, let's shuffle on to some of these super chats before we move on. So, KN Kareen, nice to see you. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
Thanks
Kareen.
for donating. For $4.99 says, wait, did Tom get his passport? Tom, can you confirm or deny passport? Tom's dead.
I actually don't have one.
I have to go get my what do you call it, known traveler thing renewed.
I
I
have
don't
one.
go anywhere though.
I have one, but I think it expires and
You guys are not big on
you're unless it has at least 6 months left on it, your passport is actually quite useless, depending on where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to have like a long run. Yeah, you guys, States, Americans are weird with their passports. They're not massive on them.
I have mine. I've had mine.
Yeah, but you're an outlier, mate. You did a statistical analysis of the states. It's one of the it takes the highest percentage of its populace that doesn't care about travel, like doesn't have a passport.
Mr. H, can I be devil's advocate and stand up for Americans here?
I'm not having a go at them. You don't understand.
No, I'm just saying that from our European point of view. Like, if I was in Oslo right now, most of the time I'm in Oslo. I haven't been there for 6 months, but if I was in Oslo and I decided to sit down in my car, I only had to drive 2 hours and I'd be in Sweden. If I decided to, you know what, I'm going to pull an all-nighter and drive for 12 hours, I'd be in Russia. If I decide to if I were to make a booking in the evening, I can be in Denmark by breakfast, in Germany by lunch, I can be in France by afternoon. Whenever you are in Europe, right?
Yeah,
if you travel more than 3-4 hours in any given direction, you're in a new country and you're going to need a passport for it.
And I'll tell you guys this, I'm more than 2 or 3 hours from getting to any edge of this fucking state, at least.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas America, remember, the United States of America, you travel the same distance that we travel to another country with a border crossing and everything. Americans are just in another state. That's the equivalent.
Yeah.
An American leaving the US is the same as a European leaving the continent. Now, we travel a lot inside of Europe, but how often do Europeans leave the continent? Of course, it happens, but it doesn't happen. I don't know that it happens much more than Americans leaving the United States.
driving,
Well,
just for
okay, fine.
perspective, driving from Los Angeles to, let's say, Miami, Florida, is a 30-hour or maybe more drive.
Well, I guess I understand all that. My point was more from a perspective of passports, different cultures, different countries, that sort of thing, which is a pretty undeniable thing. Like, not the people that are watching this very clearly, you know, this next statement isn't pertaining to you guys. But if you were to do a cross-section analysis of people on the street in America,
Right.
barely any of them can point to anything on a map. Like, they don't know anything outside of their own country. I don't mean you guys watching this, obviously. I clearly believe my audience has a higher intelligence than the average individual, very clearly. But that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that, you know, there's a large portion of people that just have literally no idea about
Just the
anything. They've never
same, though.
experienced any other cultures.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think that kind of goes more to what Andre's saying on both fronts, right? Like, look, I'm not trying to make excuses for us Americans being dumb, but we don't travel a lot. We definitely don't travel out of the country all that much because we don't have to, right? In fact, that's probably why we're so culturally ignorant, is because we don't.
Well, we don't have to, but we do. That's the point. It's just,
But here's the difference. Like Andre, no, let me finish though. Like Andre just said though, he can drive 200 or 300, 2 or 3 hours in any direction and be in that many different countries.
Yeah,
right.
Apart from north, like if I travel straight north,
But still,
I'll be
my point is
traveling for
how
a
many
while.
different cultures can you like experience in a matter of hours, right? That just boggles my fucking mind.
That's the
right?
difference with Europe and America.
The closest I have to that is I could drive up to Canada. Now it'd take me like 5-6 hours, but going up to Canada to me would be about the culture shock of me maybe going to some new person's house, right?
Yeah.
Like it really isn't that much different than growing up in Wisconsin. Canada's just like big Wisconsin. Like, So culturally, I have very little. Like I have ideas just from movies, from talking to people, from all that kind of shit. But I have very little experience of traveling out of my area outside of people coming to me and talking to me in certain instances where I've, met people from other places. So for me, when I went to like Las Vegas, that was a huge fucking culture shock for me at first. Sure, I'd been to Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, but that was a totally different, like, going to Las Vegas was like going to an amusement park for me.
Yeah.
Like, it was just crazy. It was like, this is a town? Like, what the fuck? Or city or whatever, you're like, I just like, holy crap. Like, it was just intense for me. So I can understand.
I wish I could have been
at
there
least
just
from
to
the
see your
American point of
face.
view. Oh, it was crazy, man.
I was
wanna
actually
go back.
disappointed by Las Vegas, but that's me. I was like, fuck, this is a very family friendly city. I'll make sure to come back, to come back here with the kids at some point. But
Well, shit, if you think that's a family friendly city, I can't imagine the debauchery that goes on in Norway.
I'll take you out for some cities in Europe. Like,
You just go to Amsterdam, Tom.
Yeah, from San Diego to Maine is a 48-hour drive.
Jesus, that's brutal.
And that's
That's
in the United
diagonally.
States.
It's like,
Yeah, like for me to drive like from here to Vegas would take me 18 hours. At least.
Right, let's get to some of the so Chris Nicholson, $5 says, before Grace Randolph, I didn't know that an actual human being could fall into the uncanny.
oh my goodness. Oh,
That is so true though.
shots
She
fired.
does see, she's like a living Muppet.
He is. Seriously.
Oh, she's
That's
nice.
That's
Come
one of the
on.
best comments I've read in a while. That's great.
Mm.
Tom Workins. So $5 says, anything conservative or liberal now will be seen as not that silly and quaint decades from now. Want timely or timeless, intrinsic.
Yeah, I think timeless is what you should be aiming for, and yet the current studio outlook, especially Disney's, is so short term. It has the staying power of a McDonald's hamburger.
You need to push things up to modern audiences, modern sensibilities. Yeah, and just aging it massively. Cool. Well done.
And the funny thing is that thanks to Elon Musk, we now know that modern audiences were mostly bots on Twitter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Last but not least, before we move on, Mecha J sent in $2, says, Grace's voice is more scary than Godzilla's roar. Does more damage than his atomic breath as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of people orphaned because of.
I don't know how anybody could stand to be in a relationship with her.
Oh,
Well, no, the fuck is she single? Of course they can't. No one is in a relationship with.
Well,
her.
I
What are you
know,
on
like
about?
that's what I'm
Come on,
saying.
mate.
I'm like just sitting here going, how could you put up with living with that?
Oh, I don't.
Like,
I wish
I'm
you-
a pain in
I
the
don't like
ass.
these
Let's not
videos.
make speculations about her
True.
personal life. I mean, she don't deserve that. Although she does say that she goes to cinema with her parents and stuff rather than a significant other.
She's a
but-
cat lady.
But
You
let's,
guys are-
let's
I-
not speculate.
Cats
You
have
are
quite good hearing. I don't think they'd be around her for very long.
you
mate.
are
That's-
all so very toxic. I'm sorry. You represent toxic masculinity. You stop it right now.
No. That showed you. Right, anyway, let's shuffle on. Let's shuffle on. So, the Doctor Who is, I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I've been enjoying making videos on the main channel, riling up all the Whovians. They're a funny bunch. But now it seems that Doctor Who has riled up, in an effort to appease the woke, has riled up the woke, which is quite comical.
Yeah, that never happens.
No, it's the Ouroboros. It's the snake consuming its own tail.
oh,
Just one review I wanted to look at because it's quite funny. It's The Verge.
tables have turned.
The new Doctor Who debut felt like a timey-wimey slap to the face, was marked by a number of questionable decisions and racist tropes. I mean, that alone tells us the nature of this article, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Brilliant stuff. So this is the new Doctor. This is Ncuti Gatwa. It's Ncuti, but you actually say it's Ncuti apparently, which is news to me. So this is Ncuti Gatwa, the new Doctor. He's openly queer and black. And they think, The Verge think his introduction was not good enough, quite frankly. Because apparently the first leading incarnation of the Doctor to be played by a black queer man, Doctor Who's 60th anniversary special, absolutely fumbled the ball by forcing Gatwa to exist in another actor's shadow. Oh no. Oh no, because what did they do, ladies and gents? They did a bi-generation. They introduced him with the
Talking about
Doctor.
by generation.
By generation.
There you go.
By
So-
generation. You're all a bunch
So-
of weirdos. By generation. What?
Oh my god.
Oh, my mic's hot. Fuck.
Fuck's sake. So basically, David Tennant's Doctor has a fight with the toy maker, gets shot, right? Gets shot, and then his body begins to split into two. You see it here.
Did they
Can't play
touch
it 'cause the
penises
BBC
there? Wait a minute. Hold on.
They did. They touched babies. The BBC's been copyright claiming, by the way, guys, just as an FYI. Only negative videos like mine, because they're wankers. So according to the new 15th Doctor, by generation, a Time Lord simultaneously regenerating into two separate cells was supposed to have been a Gallifreyan myth, but as 14 and 15 team up to defeat the toy maker, the Giggle makes obvious that this era of multiple contemporaneous Doctors is here to stay. And while that's sure to delight the legions of Doctor Who fans, all fucking 12 of them, who've come to see Tennant as the quintessential Doctor, it's impossible not to read that the episode is having stolen a lot of Gatwa's thunder. Oh no. Whatever will we do? When Gatwa was first announced as the Doctor Who, or the actor, sorry, who would be taking over the Doctor role following Whittaker's 3-series run, it felt like the BBC finally had the common sense to lean more into Doctor Who's core ideas of imagination, exploration, and discovery, even though they've come out and said, no, it's a fantasy now, actually. But check this bit of dog shit out. No matter how vehemently Doctor Who fans might want to deny it, that's right. If you deny this, it doesn't matter. We don't believe you. The fact that the Doctor, shape-shifting alien from a planet full of brilliant time travelers, was almost exclusively portrayed by a white man until 2017 was small-minded, racist, sexist in equal measure. Couldn't possibly be that the UK, predominantly white people, or was for a while, No. Can possibly be that? No. No, of course not. Fucking dipshits. Anyway, it's racist, guys. It's racist. So the giggle, as the episode, brings a 15 Doctor into the picture. From the way he's left standing in his underwear, while 14 remains mostly clothed. So Gatwa is in his underwear, David Tennant's not. To the implication that the two Doctors will seemingly coexist, makes it seem as if Davies is trying to placate to the contingent of fans who don't want to accept a queer black actor playing the Doctor by keeping Tennant in the mix. Mate, he's as
You
fucking woke as
cannot win.
You
No
literally
matter
can't,
what
can
you
you?
try with the woke crowd. So you might as well just tell them to, in the words of Elon Musk,
There's
go
more.
fuck themselves.
Go fund yourself.
There is more. There's more, guys. Those fans vocalized their displeasure at the idea of a black Doctor in the same way that people griped about the idea of a black Spider-Man, a black Captain America, or a black James Bond. No, they didn't. That's completely different. That's literally just swapping the ethnicities out. Doctor Who, being black, is just a brand new Doctor. Like an actual new Doctor. It's a new personality. This one's just for you, Tom. They're the same people who lost their minds at the sight of Black April O'Neil and can't wrap their minds around the concept of Castlevania's Nocturne's black vampires. They're also the people that love Mace Windu. It's almost like Mace Windu's a completely different character. There's one for you here, Nick. It's almost like Mace Windu is a completely different character and is good. But they hated it when Finn picked up a lightsaber. I thought people quite liked Finn picking up a lightsaber. They were like, "Oh, this could go somewhere."
I thought he was
That's
going to be a force
obfuscating
user.
bullshit there. Okay, here's
Yeah.
them trying to like wrap their head around the fact that maybe these fuckers aren't really racist.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
they're trying to do here. And they can't, like, it can't compute. It's not fucking registering because guess what? Yeah, we like Mace Windu. Yeah, we like original black characters. And if you were to turn around and make Mace Windu, oh, I don't know, fucking Asian, I'm sure we'd all say something about it.
Yeah.
I would. I'd be like, "What? What are you doing? This was a cool black guy. What's going on?"
Yeah.
And when what was it, Falcon Winter Soldier was out and that show was going on, I was like, you know, it was the beginning of the new phase, and I was like, all right, I'm into this show. I'm ready to check it out. You know, and I had so much respect for the Falcon character not taking up the shield in the Captain America thing. He was being his own person. I was like, I liked him. I like him even more now as a character. And then the other blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy who was Captain America, I was sitting there bitching about him, saying, that's not Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America. But then as soon as Falcon ended up picking up the Captain America mantle, and I started bitching, then all of a sudden I'm, an ist. And I'm like, did you not hear any of my other arguments? And people all over the internet were making the same arguments. It's like they'll just cherry pick whatever fits their narrative to
Of course
use.
they will.
It's so asinine.
So they took Falcon and made him black Captain America at the end of the day is what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can never please these people, and this is why you just don't try. They won't accept apologies. They won't. It's never enough. Is never enough for these people. An apology is never enough. Placating
and the
to them is
John
never
Boyega
enough.
thing, they're
Don't
full of
bother.
shit. I don't remember anybody saying shit about him picking up a lightsaber. What we were saying was that character got shafted.
He was wasted. That's what
He was
people
wasted.
said.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and he could have been the yin to the yang. That could have been an amazing thing, right? You could have had one. Ray should have been the bad guy. Sorry, gone to the dark side, and he could have been the light side. And then you've conquered all these arguments, and you've accidentally taken woke storytelling and made it compelling. But no, they shafted John Boyega's character. Finn became nothing. And nothing more than a jumped up janitor. That's bad.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit more here. So it says you can tell that Davies meant for it to be poignant and touching in moments when 15 confronts 14 about his need to deal with his emotional baggage, or when the companions express their excitement at meeting a new doctor. But all of that goodwill is immediately squandered when you have characters who know better from first-hand experiences asking whether the Doctor comes in a variety of colours. I mean, that is quite funny. Gets worse. This is The Verge writing this. The trappings and optics of the giggle also had an unfortunate kind of magical Negro quality to 15's heart-to-heart talks with 14. Sorry, what?
Are you not familiar with this?
Can you say that?
Why? I
I can say that now.
I'm not familiar. What the fuck is a
Well, they
magical
can write
Negro?
it. I don't know if we're supposed to say it. But anyway, what that
whatever,
concept basically means, like, you know how you have like this stereotype that
Your magic black woman
that-
powers.
yeah, well, that goes a little bit beyond this. Like the trope is actually far, far older. You have it in, for instance, the Green Mile. What it really dates back to, like, if you, for instance, look at the stereotype of Native Americans or Indians, right, who are much closer to nature, right? Like, for instance, the Native American fella in Predator, like, he instantly was able to detect the predator because he's Native American. So he's much more closely aligned with nature. He has like this kind of like magic power. This myth that they're referring to right here is the same basic thing, but the implied part of it is basically that black people are closer to nature and therefore have like this natural wisdom that civilized white people no longer have. And that's kind of like the implied Rossicist part of it. Now, is this something that the writers meant to put in there? For all we know, maybe, because remember, these are wokesters. What we know about them, they are the ones that preaching about anti-racists and virtues and stuff like that, while being the most bigoted, racist, misogynist pieces of shit on the face of the earth. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if they did put in that trope there, consciously or subconsciously, in that particular way. The story is on the mark. So basically, like, now Doctor Who gets into like a new iteration, and he suddenly gets magical powers associated with a racial stereotype that many have decided, especially on this part of the political aisle, have decided is deeply problematic and stuff right now, and they do that. But yeah, the criticism probably has a point. I mean, it wouldn't come from any of us, but it would come from those cancel pigs, which I believe is the appropriate term for it. And you know what? They have a point, because in their virtue signaling, they failed to live up to their own standards, which are by design unachievable, because they're cancel pigs and they're happy to be a circular fighting squad. So I say, yeah, good, let them have it. I mean, these are the same people that decided that, what's his name, Stavros or whatever.
Oh my god!
This most amazing Doctor Who villain. Like, I haven't grown up with Doctor Who or nothing, but I did see those episodes on the origin of the Daleks. And you know what? That was pretty darn good TV. As Guy Signer and everything in it. Stavros is a really, or Davros or whatever his name is, I can never get it right. Really compelling villain. And then they decide that, you know what, he's in a wheelchair, and we don't like the implication. So you know what? Anything that these writers get, they freaking have coming. So I say, you know what? Good for it. Let them have it. They deserve it. Let them be told how racist pieces of shit they are for doing this, because they are. Just not in the way that they think.
I mean, the whole Davros thing is so bloody funny, because he was never in a wheelchair; it was a life support machine.
Yeah, he was basically like Captain Pike, wasn't he?
Honestly, so bad. I can't believe they said magic neat. My god,
Yeah.
I don't even want to repeat it.
Anyway, so yeah, it's a really,
Unbelievable.
really old stereotype. I know, trope. I mean, the people that suddenly find like some issue against the Green Mile, that's what they're complaining about. Because there you also have like Michael Clark Duncan's black character with magic abilities,
Yeah.
closer to nature and stuff. That's it. That's what they're talking about. And and you know, and the funny thing is, my understanding is like in the folk tales of the Deep South, where many black people were settled, the stories that evolved there, Brother Rabbit and Brother Bear and stuff like that, is filled with characters like that, from my understanding. So it's the people who made this series. It's people like them that have decided that this part of American culture, of American lore, we have suddenly decided is problematic. But I don't think white people ever invented it. I don't think it came from them. I think that is something that evolved naturally in the folk tales among the black people of the American South. That's where it comes from. And just like the Song of the South, they decided to ban that part of history for complete bullshit reasons.
So funny.
Yeah, like I point out with Song of the South, they like to say, "Oh, it's this, it's that, it's the other." It's like, is it a little racially insensitive compared to today's standards? Oh, more than likely. But at the same time, they overlook the big thing about and the same thing with Gone with the Wind, you know, like to an extent because of the actress getting the Oscar and them not allowing her to be at the Oscar celebration was a bigger deal to me than the whole thing over that, but not the movie itself. But with the Song of the South, like Andre was kind of getting at there, like they're overlooking that nobody at that time in Hollywood was spending that kind of money and attention in a big studio on a story about Brer Rabbit.
And you know
like
what?
They were preserving and passing down. Exactly, they were preserving and passing down those stories that have been passed down through generations and generations.
And so many of them are lost,
just like they did with Snow White and Pinocchio and all that stuff. Yeah,
that have kept them alive. I mean, for instance, the European folk tales, they are well documented long before Disney, whereas the original American folk tales, many of which came from the black population, as far as I know, most of them are lost to history. And the ones that have preserved them in ways that are accessible for the public at large are Disney. I mean, Brother Rabbit and Brother
Good luck finding a book of them anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
I mean, you want to find a book about like the European folk tales? Have your pick. Thanks to the Brothers Grimm. You want some Nordic folk tales? Have your pick. Thanks to Asbjørnsen and Moe, which collected them on the Norwegian countryside. The Swedes should give thanks to them as well, because they preserved a lot of theirs as well. But the American ones, I mean, the ones that are Disney certainly popularized for many people outside. Otherwise, they would be completely unknown. And what thanks do they get to reference Wish? Will be cancelled for it.
Unbelievable. Well, I thought that was a bit of fun. We'll shuffle on now quickly to some super chats just to real quick before we move on. So Tom Working drops in $2, says representation inverted, white people are British. Olaf Vanes for €2 says Ngoot is the Miles Morales Doctor Who, which is kind of followed up by Chaos is Fun. Says as he never actually regenerated, Tennant is still the Doctor, and Gatwa is his Miles Morales, a spin-off Doctor.
This
is 100% right.
Yeah, I think that sounds accurate to me.
A massive shout out to Olaf. We salute you, good sir. You are a fantastic moderator, wrenching in the chat. So thank you so much, buddy. Tom Workin sent in $2, says fetishizing magical black person, mystical Asian. That is essentially the trope, isn't it? Basically, yeah, you are right. Brett Cohen for $5 Australian says, think about this. If life stemmed from Africa, as it did, it's actually white people that are the oppressed from their original color under a woke lens.
Wow.
Way to flip the script there.
There you go, man.
You get $1 for that.
Larry for $2 says, "How about Warwick Davis as the next Doctor?"
That sounds.
Yeah, well,
like
there has been very, very little
Little people.
representation of like little people among the doctors. This is probably very problematic.
That's-
Also, I
that
don't
is-
see many wheelchair users or neurodivergent doctors. Well, maybe all of them are in some sense, but
They all seem a bit off on the spectrum, don't they? To be fair.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Right. Well, anyway, so funny, bloody hell. Right. God damn. What should we get?
They
to
should have just
next?
went all out and got a trans woman who goes back and forth between
did.
being
Well,
gay and straight.
Should.
But you just had a magical Dr. Power person of transitional nature in like
Right. Come on.
yeah, sorry.
So, all right. Let's go. There's a live action Death Stranding movie in the works. I never played this game. Did anyone of you play this game? Nick?
Not. It got some
Ah.
really good reviews pre-release, and when once it came out, people weren't really all that hyped about the game or the story.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I ended up. That's why I skipped it. People really didn't seem to like it, and a lot of people seem to kind of be confused by it a little bit.
So, yeah. Well, basically, they're doing a live action movie. What we are creating is not just a direct translation of the game, which from what you're saying probably sounds good. A24 are going to collaborate with Kojima Productions. That's a good sign. I like A24.
Yeah, but honestly, the story here, I will say, after trying to play this game for about 4 hours, I found it lacking in so many ways. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Like a walk? Wasn't it a walking simulator? People were.
that's what a
that's one
lot
the
of people
criticisms were.
suggest. Yes, and I would have to agree with
Remember
them.
that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's take a look. Right, A24, the studio behind Academy Award-winning films Everything Ever All at Once, has announced a collaboration with Kojima Productions to adapt Hideo Koshima's acclaimed video game Death Stranding into live-action feature film. The announcement comes ahead of Kojima Productions' 8th anniversary on 16th December, marking a new milestone in video game to film adaptations. The film promises to delve into the mysteries surrounding the apocalyptic event called the Death Stranding, which blurred the lines between life and death and brought forth nightmarish creatures into a world on the brink of collapse. Hailed as the architect of the stealth genre and a pioneer in interactive storytelling, Hideo Kojima continually shifts the boundaries between film and game. Widely considered the father of the stealth genre, he's also credited with innovating both storytelling and cinematic presentation in video games at large. In 2020, Hideo Kojima received BAFTA Fellowship and the highest accolade bestowed by BAFTA upon an individual in recognition of exceptional contributions to film, games, television. He is good. What he's done is good.
Yeah.
So here's a statement. A24 was born into this world about 10 years ago. Their presence is singular within the industry. They are like no other. They're like some, but fine. The films they're delivering to the world are high in quality and very innovative. I've been attracted to their creations, and they have even inspired my own work. Their innovative approach to storytelling aligns with what Kojima Productions has been doing for the last 8 years. Now, we are making a Death Stranding movie together. There are a lot of game adaptation films out there, but what we are creating is not just a direct translation of the game. That has not worked very well for most video game adaptations, mate.
No, if there ever was a red flag, it's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's it like? Come on now. The intention is that our audience will not only be fans of the games, but our film will be for anyone who loves cinema. We are creating a Death Stranding universe that has never been seen before, achievable only through the medium of film. It will be born.
Maybe it'll be better as a movie than a game.
It
Yeah,
always
true.
goes so well when they announce a cinematic universe before the first one is out. I mean, this
I
worked
fucking
so
hate that.
well for the Monsters universe.
Yeah. So what do we think then? Because I mean, I've never played the game. I was hoping one of you had. I mean, culture has for 4 hours, I guess.
I was looking forward to it, but at this point in time, it's one that I'm for sure playing, and I don't really care what anybody else says. I'm 100% playing it as soon as it drops. I always wait for reviews before I buy a game these days. But this was one I was looking into. Like I said, the reviews weren't really that good after the game dropped, but the guy who did this game, I'm drawing Keto,
Hideo Kojima.
yeah, Kojima, yeah, he is the creator of one of my all-time favorite games of all time, Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. Awesome game, awesome story. So I mean, he's good, but as far as this translating this from game to film rarely does it work. My expectations are pretty low. Again, I probably won't even watch this, once it drops, unless the reviews from critics and the audience are like way high. Just because I just don't got time to spend on stuff like I used to, and I'm unless it's worth me sitting down taking the time, I'm probably going to be skipping it.
Oh, that's probably me too, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm done with this too before it even launches. I
remember the trailer was good, wasn't it? To the game.
Yeah. That's what got me hyped about the game initially. I was like, wow, this looks actually kind of cool.
Lots of stuff looks pretty, and then you watch it. Or in the case of the games, you play it.
Yeah, I'd rather play Crash Bandicoot 4.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of the idea of paying $60 or $70 for a video game without actually getting some reviews and some information on it that's reliable.
Yeah,
because much like movie sites and fan blogs and game reviewers and stuff, I can't trust any of those people because they have a weighted opinion because they get by because they're access media. I have no time for that. That's why the people I turn to for actual information, with Midnight's Edge, Mr. H Reviews, that's what they're there for. I'd like to think I'm a small part of that.
Maybe would you not turn to them for no?
I mean, if I want to know about Star Wars, good or bad, you can always check out.
About Star Wars, they do other stuff now.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Fucking hell, culture.
I don't even know why I'm here.
Leave culture alone. Leave him alone. I'm the only one who's allowed to pick on him today.
All right.
Well, I know. There you go. Death Stranding. Meh.
I have zero interest in this shit. So yeah.
I can't. I'm looking forward to hearing what Grace thinks of it.
So
yeah,
I'm so excited for the Death Stranding.
Yeah, and as for me, like I remember the trailers for the game. The trailers looked intriguing enough, but beyond that, I don't know the property. I guess like if you were to adapt it in a way that was reflective of that initial trailer, it could be really, really good. The potential for it absolutely is there. However, there's a problem with adapting these new video games, which are so cinematic, which are so big, which are so grandiose, which takes... How long does it take to play through a game like this? 24 hours, 48, 36? How much story is it to unpack in such a game?
Typical ones nowadays are like 40 to 50 hours.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you're supposed to adapt this into a 2-hour movie? Good luck with getting the fans on board with that, because you're going to have to cut so much. I guess that is what they mean by this is not going to be an exact adaptation. No, because if they were to do that, well, for one thing, you could just watch a cinematic. So that's like one thing. But another
Yeah.
is that then you would no longer be looking at the movie. You'd be looking at the seasonal series, multi-season series, at least 10 episodes, just to follow the story of the game, right? That's a challenge with adapting these things into movies. They're too big. I mean, you can take a property from like a 16-bit era. You can do that into a movie. You can do something where you don't really have a story like Gran Turismo and make a story around that and make it amazing. You can do
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog. You can do Super Mario. You can do Streets of Rage. You can do all of these things where basically the game is a simple game mechanic, whether it be fighting, platformer, beat them up, racing, whatever. And then you have like a skeleton of a story that you can expand into a movie. I mean, then you have a winning formula. But every single time you are dealing with something that is really grand, that you have to scale back, you're on shaky ground right away. Because it's no longer how do we expand this? It's what do we cut back? And every single time you cut something back, you cut away a little bit of the core. And then what remains? Is that even going to be recognizable to the fans watching it? I think they're not doing themselves any favor here. Really, like Hollywood and filmmakers, they shouldn't even be looking at properties like these. If anything should be assigned as unfilmable, it is this for just this very reason. I mean, you have like this series that's going on right now. Like, what's it called again? It's a PlayStation thing with Twisted Metal, I think it is. I mean, that's a multi-season series. Good. They got the right idea. They're smart enough to know that this is too big for a movie. But you do something like this, a Hideo Kojima thing, and you want to do it as a movie? Good freaking luck with that. That's not going to work.
Well, I mean, they can get rid of a lot of the walking.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you can, but,
And Andre brings up a good point, because just looking at one of my favorite games of all time that have come out recently, Final Fantasy VII Remake, just the cinematic cutscenes alone, 15 hours.
there you go. That's what I mean.
Hours.
Just the cutscenes are. How the fuck? Imagine if someone did a movie adaptation like that. It is 45 minutes. How excited are you for that?
Yeah, and that's just a small section of the original game. You know that they developed for the remake. You know, they took one small section and just the cinematics, 15 hours.
Yeah, that's insane. Right. I think we should shuffle on from that now. I think to something funny. I find this very funny, actually. It's got a new name.
Oh, that looks so terrible.
Marvel's changed the name to Agatha again. Fourth time. This is the fourth name they've given now. Which does anyone know what it's called? Just real quick. Don't say it. Does anyone know?
I don't know.
I
don't look at the chat or anything like that.
It's
no.
It's not Darkhold Diaries anymore.
No, Coven of Chaos, not that either.
It's not Agatha All Along.
No, Agatha
the Brave.
Wild Adventure as a Witch.
What did you say, Culture?
Agatha Christie's Wild Adventures as a Witch.
The one before that?
Agatha All Along.
Yeah, that's literally what it's called, mate.
Are you kidding me?
It's called Agatha All Along.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking. That's what I've been calling it the whole time. I've been calling our Midnight
It's
Set
legitimately
videos,
called Agatha All Along.
Amazing, because I have been calling it for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, I've been calling this series Agatha All Along in every single video.
Wow. Andre, I think you should seek monetary
recompense, compensation.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
literally. Go back and check Midnight Sedge videos. Agatha All Along is what I have consistently been calling it. But here's the secret: I've been calling it that mockingly.
Wow. I wonder if they've been watching your videos, Andre.
Oh, they definitely have, but I don't.
I just think that they think that they're really cool and meta because they're like, it was Agatha all along, which also, is obviously the fact that they've been stupid about the name, but it also references like a jingle in WandaVision, right? A little song in WandaVision, and it also references the fact that it was Agatha all along in WandaVision. It's just this like multi-meta bollocks, basically, that I deeply hate.
I actually thought that was the title because of Andre all along.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I thought when people were talking about the name changes, I thought that was the original title, and they just kept changing it all this time. So I'm like, that's dumb. They didn't get the meme. Because you're right. Like, how many people actually liked that song? I thought people were making fun of it.
Mate, I've got no idea. This is
They compared it to Morbius or whatever. Like, I was like, they're not
Yeah,
getting
they
it.
misread the meme again.
Morbius was so much better.
Bad. Oh my god.
No, but the point of the meme where people were like, re-release it is because we didn't actually think they would. That was the joke. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody actually really wanted to see it. Like,
And I like the actress who's playing Agatha, especially in Step Brothers and The Goods.
Oh yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff she's been good in. I mean,
but
you know,
good lord, man.
I think she was the sister in Covert Affairs, and I think she's been in a lot of different roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn's not, she's not bad.
No.
But I mean, this is a bomb waiting to happen, isn't it? Like, seriously.
Who's
another
who's
200
interested
million.
in this show? Who's their target audience?
Oh, no one. I mean, the thing is, like, Loki was a bomb statistically based on Nielsen's numbers. That was bad. That was terrible. I mean, the interest in these Marvel properties is just going downhill. So this is another $200 million black hole.
I mean, when they're making this, do you think in the back of their mind they're sitting there going, "Man, nobody's gonna watch this"?
No, the hubris of these people, they must actually think that it's going to be something special. I guarantee it. Because these people, they genuinely think that their shit doesn't stink.
Oh, it does plenty.
Well, yeah, we know that.
I can smell it from here.
You sure you drink too much coffee, mate?
It's either that or it's Nick.
Are you in the next room? What's going on with you guys? What?
No, I mean, I don't know. Nick, did you get a shower yet?
Did I take a shower today?
You're being mean.
Ask these sort of questions. It's weird.
I'm weird.
Right. Well, anyway, guys,
I
another
take a
black
shower
hole
in 3 weeks, man.
Oh, dear. Right. Well, I think this perfectly, to me, encapsulates what's wrong with Marvel overall. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what's going on, and they're just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. That's what this is, isn't it? Unequivocally, like change the name, change this, change that. Oh, for goodness sake. Anyway, and any final thoughts on this chaos at Marvel?
I am looking forward to another failure.
Yep, another flop. It'll make for good video content on the ratings once they drop.
That's true.
Well, I'm going to cover every single episode. I'm going to watch it all.
Ugh,
but you don't.
You're
I'm
a better
not
man
making
than
you,
me, Culture.
I'm not
you're
making
not?
you do that, Culture.
Okay, good.
No,
And I ain't watching it at all.
I'm not going to fucking watch this.
What is it you're forcing me to watch? We had a fight over this on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what if something. Yeah, something that's going to come out.
Something that's terrible.
It was
I
a
can't
movie.
remember, you know.
Good. Don't go
Yeah,
back
might
and
have
watch
been a
the last
movie.
show.
Might have been a movie. I can't remember, you know. Anyway, whatever.
Maybe it
never
was
mind.
Echo. Was it Echo?
I might have said that as a joke
I hope
because
so.
I'm not going to watch that either.
No.
Oh well. Anyway, from one flop to another, let's go. For those tiny reshoots, they've got another writer.
Well, you did see my tweet, remember? They're only
What was your tweet?
They're only redoing 3 scenes.
Wow.
3 bits.
Wait,
I
this
fucked
is
up
the
my own
quote
tweet.
from. the quote from Deadline is absolutely outrageous, like genuinely outrageous. And
My
it is
tweet said,
proper
everyone
cope.
stop making such a big deal out of Captain America 4. Yes, they are set to reshoot for 4 to 6 months, but it's only 3 sequences, Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. That's all.
I love that.
Basically, they're reshooting the whole movie.
Yes.
What? No, because according to Deadline, this is all perfectly normal.
For Disney, yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, exactly. For Disney, it is. Oh, look, this is nonsense. So Deadline were the ones that released this. With plenty of time until February 14th, 2025 release. Marvel Studios has hired a new writer just for additional scenes. When does that ever happen? So Matthew Orton will write these additional scenes and material. Orton will work on material that will be shot in additional photography, which will take place in spring, summer of 2024, we understand. So that's some cope. Are you ready to inhale the biggest amount of copium I've seen from Deadline for quite a while?
Give it to us.
Reshoots are a part of every Marvel movie and are always planned as part of the studio's quality control production process. Reshoot days can vary from as little as 3 days to more than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Marvel Studios delivered $30 billion in global box office across 33 titles. Fuck's that got to do with this?
They
They've been adding
They
this
put that in.
recently.
They put that in the last article that they
Yeah.
did.
It's
They've
the
They've been
best
adding
in-
this in a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a certain amount of cope that's more than a little bit telling. I mean, it's like, okay, we're running out of ways to say that Marvel's fine. We don't have any numbers to back it up. Their recent offerings have been dog shit. We've here. Let's throw this out there because nobody's gonna look into this at all.
Yep. And this is the same thing stupid Campia was arguing about, talking about they've made $30 billion. Like they lose a couple million, it's nothing to them. It's nothing. Like
They haven't actually taken home.
yeah,
30 billion
exactly.
John Campier, you fucking tard.
Yep.
that's how much the movies have made, not what the company has made. That's
Yeah.
completely different. Fucking honestly.
The answer's
so
right in front of your
stupid.
faces. The fact that John Campia, Deadline has said it several times, this is exactly what their PR over at Disney
Yeah.
feeds them
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say.
Mm.
That's
Well
why it's
spotted,
always the
actually.
same exact shit. It's just like recently I've been arguing with some idiots on fucking Twitter because I posted, Rachel Zegler going 180 on her Snow White business. And they're like, well, clearly she was telling the truth first. Well, clearly she was telling the truth now. It's like, no, both times I'm pretty sure she was just mimicking whatever the studio fucking told her to.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, why would she say the first thing? Or why would she say the second thing? It's like for the exact same reason on both ends. Because that's what she was told to say. Proof is in the pudding. First of all, she said the same shit Gal Gadot did. Nobody said shit to Gal, though. Because Gal just kind of agreed with her, nodded her head, and said, yeah, this is not for the men or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or men, yeah, we don't need to be saved by known men. Nobody said shit about Gal saying any of that shit, but she was saying the exact same shit Rachel was. But now Rachel's coming out and completely 180 on this. That's because somebody inside the studio said, oh, fuck.
We've really messed up here.
Yeah. And because the points she's making now are all the same points all the Disnerds were making, right?
Yeah.
That this is the movie that started it all. This is Disney. Disney is built on this legacy. And those are the things that she was saying now. Same thing here. It's the same mouthpiece bullshit. Yada, yada, yada. You can't tell me that this is a normal reshoot. Fuck you. You're bringing in a new writer. You don't plan to bring in a new writer if you're doing typical bullshit. You're not doing pickups. You're not doing fucking, oh, we forgot to have him sneeze in that scene. That's not how this works, people. You don't plan to bring in a new writer.
Yeah, for reshoot.
Yeah, exactly. This is fine. We're fine here.
Yeah.
How much
There
you
it
want to
is.
bet this movie gets pushed off another fucking year? This movie was supposed to be out, what, like last month?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, November 2023.
I'm not kidding.
originally.
I'm being fucking serious because the Marvels got moved, and I believe it took this movie's spot.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, you're right. Tom, did you eat like some candy or something?
Are you Tom?
I'm
Tom,
just
did you
being
just
very
confirm
quiet.
for me what a friend of mine said, which was the movie was done and ready for release?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It
Well,
absolutely
it wasn't
was.
ready for release, but it was
Okay, okay.
sufficiently ready that there had been test screenings held.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
So they
even-
had a cut which was mostly locked, where special effects were largely completed
Yeah.
to the point it could be screened for test audiences, which means, assuming those reviews went fine, they would only do the most minor of minor trims to it and then release it. And instead, they found it unreleasable and pushed it back more than a year.
Whew.
And now they got reshoots incoming.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, there you go. I thought we would end on a funny note with respect to Marvel.
It's like Indiana Jones all over again. That movie got put off for a year and had some reshoots that it
That is
needed to
true.
Wait a
make.
minute. They didn't reshoot anything. Come on. Come on, Nick.
Mangold came out and cleared the air this
Yeah, he
week.
did actually. Yeah, did say they had multiple endings, didn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Dear, oh dear. Well, guys, what have you got going on? Culture, real quick. What's happening in your world, bud?
Hey, I actually made a video. It came out today. It's been a while, so check it out, please. YouTube
Okay.
didn't show me the love when I dropped it today because I'd been absent for a few days. So check that out. We are back to doing 6-minute dailies. I'm operating on this laptop. It seems to be okay. We even got some stingers together. So do check that out. I'll have a video out probably tomorrow. And yeah, I'm just happy that we're going to have Midnight's Edge in the morning tomorrow. And of course, tonight, Comics Division's channel, we've got the Thursday Throwdown. So check me out there in just a few hours.
Excellent. Tom, what's happening in your world, bud? Tom's dead.
Andre's
I'm
trying
dead.
to kill me. That's what.
Who is?
Midnight's Edge After Dark in about 2 hours.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. There you go. Nick, what's happening?
No Thursday night stream for us tonight. I got a Christmas party to go to. Coach has something going on with his daughter's Christmas parade thing or something. And so neither one of us are going to be available tonight. But we will be 2 hours prior to right now, whatever time zone you're in. We will be doing EBN Cast episode 2, our weekly 1 hour kind of weekly news roundup with me, Mexican Iron Man, Jonas J. Campbell, and Stone
I can
Monkey.
attend.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you're freed up now.
Yep. I can attend on Friday. I'll be
Yeah.
on.
So yeah, we'll have you on as our first weekly rotating guest for tomorrow.
Cool.
Notice
Is
how
it-
I'm never mentioned in that sentence.
Oh, it is tomorrow's Thursday, isn't it?
I
Jesus,
already,
my
Culture
brain.
already said you,
Mm.
Tom. I'm gonna invite. We're gonna have every week. We're gonna have a different guest. I already
Uh-huh.
said I was gonna
Uh-huh.
invite all you guys on.
Uh-huh.
So join us tomorrow, guys, on EBN. Links down below in the
Yeah.
description box. Hit subscribe because I'll be over there hanging out for a little bit. So head on over there. Andre, what's happening in your world, bud?
We are dropping a video very, very soon. In fact, I'm uploading it right now. That's what Tom was referring to with me trying to kill him. And I am, because I'm hoping that between now and Midnight's Edge After Dark beginning, he's going to edit another one. So...
There you go. There you
So
go.
yeah, video will be dropping on Midnight's Edge in maybe 15-20 minutes if all goes well. So be sure to head.
Excellent.
Don't go anywhere. Head
Allow
on
me
over
to
to
have a
Midnight's
moment
Edge.
to kind of give Andre some shit here. Just so you guys get ready and check it out. Andre's going to be dropping more videos more often, guys. But he's supposed to be doing this himself. But no, I'm helping him out here today because we're trying to get everything rolling. So come on over, check out these new videos, guys. Let us know what you think of them because they're a little bit different format than what we usually do.
Any hints on what they are?
Oh, just it's more of a we're trying to get more stories out there quicker with Andre's take on it, other than waiting till it's 2-3 days after the fact because it takes him forever to script a video. It's more of a reactionary
hot
kind of his
take,
first
sort
thoughts.
of off the top of your head?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this longer Hcast today. It's just the way it went. Just sort of naturally getting a little bit longer with these things. But I hope you enjoyed it. From me and everyone else, thank you so much. We will catch you on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye now.
I guess.